All right, what's good, everybody? How's it going out there? First of all, I want to say thank you guys for the support on the Hellraiser video. If you guys were there the night it premiered on Halloween, or if you watched it a few days later, whatever the case may be, thank you guys so much for the support on it. I do appreciate it. I worked really, really hard on that video. I tried to do the best retrospective that I possibly could. I really, really tried to make it like, because Hellraiser was the franchise that I wanted to do the least. I did not want to cover the Hellraiser franchise because I knew how terrible all of those sequels were. And some of them I'd never even seen before, and I just knew they were terrible, and I did not want to watch them. I did not want to go through the Hellraiser franchise. I'm like, anything else. But as I always say, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, you got to give the people what they want. And people have been asking for Hellraiser for a very, very long time. So I figured that I would do a very special Halloween treat for you guys. Instead of giving a trick, I wanted to give a treat. And I figured I would do Hellraiser. But not only would I do Hellraiser, but I would also, I don't know if I succeeded, but I would also try to make it the best retrospective that I've ever done in terms of the skits, in terms of the information, in terms of the presentation, every single thing about it. I really, really worked my ass off to try to make it the best that it could possibly be. So if you guys liked it, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching it. If you watched it during the premiere, thank you guys. I was watching alongside you. I was scarfing down this giant ass bowl of Halloween candy that I still have. It's still pretty full, actually. Believe it or not, it was way more filled than this. But I was like, trick or treat. I was like, fuck them kids. They don't need any candy. I need the candy. Sitting here, scarfing this shit down, watching the Hellraiser retrospective with you guys. It was a beautiful night. You know what I mean? But now that that is out of the way and done, I feel a burden has been lifted. I feel like a massive weight has lifted off of my shoulders, and I feel a little bit more relaxed in a way. From a certain perspective, I feel a lot more relaxed because those were the retrospectives I was going to do this year. I was going to do Leprechaun for St. Patrick's Day, which I did, and then Scream in the summer, and finish it off with Hellraiser on Halloween. And I lived up to what I said I was going to do and the promises I made. Although the Hellraiser video did have a copyright claim on it, which lasted for about 4 days, and it is since lifted, so it is now monetized, which is good, but I still have not seen anything from the first 4 days, which is also unfortunate because, that's when a lot of people watch it. So YouTube is supposed to technically give the revenue back, what you would have made in those days once the copyright claim gets lifted. So I should see it, but I have not seen it yet. I don't know if they're waiting until like the end of the month calculations or whatever, but I keep checking, and I still haven't seen anything from the first 4 days. So that's the only downside. But besides that, I was happy to make it. I was happy to get it out. I'm happy that you guys liked it. And now that it's done, now it's done. And I'm not making any other retrospectives for a while. There will be more. But as of right now, I'm going to take a little hiatus, from it and work on some other things. I got some other projects I want to do, some other things that I've spent my time and effort and energy on. So obviously no more this year. 2025 is done. Will there be a retrospective in 2026? Yes. But I cannot tell you a time frame. It's not like last year where I kind of had the dates locked down to some degree. I don't know what it will be next year or when, the next one will be. So enjoy what we have right now. Enjoy all of the classics. I ran through all the classic series with Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and Scream and Chucky, Leprechaun, now Hellraiser. So, I got all the big dogs out of the way. And in a way, Pinhead and Hellraiser was kind of like the last big horror figure, other than Saw, which is what a lot of people want. And that would be a difficult one for me because honestly, I'm not very well versed in the Saw series other than the first couple movies. So that would be really stepping out into new territory, which can be fun. So I don't know. There's that. And there's also kind of like off the beaten path kind of horror series like Phantasm or, Puppet Master. I'm not doing Puppet Master, but like that's another example, And then I also thought about doing one that was not a series, but doing a bunch of horror movies that only had one movie, but doing it all in one collected video. So there's like a lot of slasher films from back in the day that never had the luxury of being a franchise, like Alice Sweet Alice or The Town That Dreaded Sundown or The Burning, all of those movies. And I thought maybe I would do a retrospective video of a bunch of slasher movies that only ever had one movie, and never actually had a franchise. So that might be an idea too. Besides that, there is also Godzilla, which is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I've always wanted to make a huge, super long, in-depth Godzilla video on all the movies. I'd probably break it down. Like the Showa era would be its own video, and then the Heisei era would be its own video, so on and so forth. So like, I really want to do Godzilla in a video. The only issue with that is that Toho and like Japan in general are very, very, very particular about their copyright rules. And, they have a whole different copyright system over there than we do here in the US where I live. And I know that a lot of people get copyright claims and copyright strikes all the time for using footage from Godzilla movies or anything from Toho. So I am a little bit nervous to attempt to do it because I feel like it would be a lot of work and a lot of effort to put into the video. And then if I can't even release it or I can't even monetize it, I can't get it out there. I want to feel like the work is worth the effort. You know what I mean? Like I want to feel like at least some sense of like an ROI on it. Like, not spend 3 months making a video and then, get nothing from it. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. So I'm trying to figure out how to do it. I mean, I know other people have made Godzilla videos and reviews and stuff and used footage, and we'll see how it goes. I don't know. There may be a way to do it, but that's kind of like my goal for like the next big video like that is to cover Godzilla finally. It's something I've been wanting to do for a really, really long time. I did Gamera first just because I thought it would be funny. Like, just because you would expect to do Godzilla because obviously I love Godzilla. I love Godzilla, and Godzilla is way more popular than Gamera. So I thought as a joke, this is like how my mind works for some reason. As a joke, I would work and make the Gamera retrospective first. Because you would expect Godzilla. So yeah, Gamera's done. But Godzilla has yet to go. So that would be, that's the next major, like, big one that I wanted to do. But in the meantime, a lot of other stuff is being considered and worked on outside of just YouTube as well. One joke I thought I would do, I couldn't do it because there's no way I would be able to afford it. But I thought it would be really, really funny if at the end of the Hellraiser video, I get dragged to hell for the final time and then it cuts to black. I thought it would be really funny if I just didn't upload any content for like a month. And just like the Hellraiser video was literally like the finale of my whole channel. Like that was it. Like after experiencing the depths of despair of going through all the Hellraiser movies, I literally am dragged to hell and like that's it. And you never hear from me again. I just go completely dark. I think that would be funny. But I couldn't afford that. I couldn't go a whole month without uploading anything, or I would go broke. But I wanted to. I really wanted to. I really wanted to. Just totally just dead silence for like a whole month, But also because of that, I did want to spend some time, now that I finished the Hellraiser video, I wanted to spend some time working on other things, and I have been. The last 2 weeks, I have been working really hard on writing. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I've been posting some videos about writing a screenplay and doing some Q&As during that. And that's what I've been doing for like the last 2 weeks since the Hellraiser video came out. The Predator videos, I recorded most of them all in one day. Most of the reviews, except for Badlands, obviously, because it hadn't come out yet. And Prey, I did on a separate day. But a lot of them I recorded on the same day so that I could edit all those videos and then have a week of videos to put out while I'm working on something else. And what I have been working on is the screenplay. And I want to say, as of right now, I don't know if I'll ever be able to do anything with it. I just really wanted to do it because it was one of my yearly goals this year, is that I wanted to write a movie script in case I ever got the opportunity someday to make a movie. I have like the blueprint, I have the skeletal beginnings of what it could be, and it's not intangible. It's not something I just have to like try to talk about or pitch. I actually have like a finished something, that somebody can read or critique or, decide if they want to help me out with it or anything. So I've been working on that. And last night at like 2:30 in the morning, I finished the first draft. So the first draft is done. Now there's a lot of shitty things in the first draft that I have to go back and change and rework and try to make better. And it's definitely not at a point where I would want to have anybody read it, but I'm going to go back through it and I'm going to make a couple more passes. Basically, like, this is how my brain works when I'm writing something fiction, or like a story, is that I think it's just important to like get it out. I think it's important to just kind of like just barrel through and make it to the end. Like, I don't like sit there like with writer's block and just like, ponder it for like a week. I just write something to get me where I need to go. It's like, okay, the characters are here. I need them to end up here. I don't really know how to connect the dots, but I'm not going to fuck around right now. I'm just going to blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And even if it's not good, I just write shit even if it's not good. And so once I reach the end and I have like a full idea of what the whole thing is, then I'm going to go back and read what I have, and I'm going to fix things. I'm going to try to make things better. I'm going to make the dialogue better. I'm going to make, any of the weaker points. I'm going to see how I can make them stronger. And I feel like that's the best way for me to work. That's the best way it is for me to write, is just to have a completed something. And then I go back through and just kind of like take out the parts that don't work and try to like insert things that do work. I don't know if anybody else does stuff like that, but that's just how my brain works. So I have a completed first draft, and I'm gonna go through it and try to make it better. And then once I'm semi confident with it, I'm gonna hand it out to about 3 or 4 people that I know will give me actual feedback, and not just say, oh yeah, it's good, because they're my friend, but actually give me constructive criticism and feedback and stuff. And then I'll rework it again from there. So, first draft now, but I imagine I'll probably have like 5 or 6 different passes before like I'm actually good with it. I feel like it's something that could be done. And I'm writing it with the idea that maybe someday I would get to make it. So it's really, really basic. There's about one main location, and a lot of outside scenes. So super easy to do. I just need to find a house. If I had to use my house, I would. I don't want to, because, frankly, shit is going to get fucked up inside the house. So, like, I'd rather not do it in my own home, but if I have to, I will. And outside scenes, I'm surrounded by the woods and the forest and stuff like that. So, like, very, very easy to find places outside to film. There's 7 main characters, which is kind of a lot. Like, it's not really a lot, but it's a lot when you have no money or resources or people that that want to act, and I'd have to find people to act. So that is pretty damn daunting. And it is mostly dialogue driven, because I know I'm not going to have money for special effects and stuff like that. So there is a lot of like violence and stuff that happens at the very end. Like, the end gets very chaotic. But most of the movie is dialogue. So really I would just have to find people that are interested and passionate about acting and would want to memorize lines and not be paid too much. So I don't know. But that's what I want to keep in mind, when I give it to people to read also. Like, I'm not trying to make anything extravagant. Like, I do think the story is meaningful to me, but it's not like, it's not filled to the brim with crazy stuff. Like it's mostly like a tension building, intimate character dynamic sort of story with a lot of chaos at the very end. I said a post on Twitter, like the way that I envision it is like, hear me out. This is my pitch. All right. This is my pitch for the tone. Okay. It's like if a Richard Linklater movie, like Before Sunrise or Dazed and Confused or, something like that, like Slacker, like a Richard Linklater movie that suddenly turns into The Evil Dead. Like that's kind of the vibe that I'm going for, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So hopefully that's a good pitch. It's like a deep, intimate story with lots of conversation, but also chaos. It's like Richard Linklater movie, but throw in some Sam Raimi Evil Dead in there too. So a little bit in the middle. It's a little bit of a blend. How many pages is the screenplay? Right now, it is 94 pages. 94 pages. And I formatted it as correctly as I could. I'm using a website called, what is it? I actually have it pulled up here. I'm using a website called Writer Duet that basically formats the script for you. Like I had a general idea how to format scripts because I used to, write them when I made short films with my friends back in the day. Like I know like the font type and the interior, exterior, day, night, action, dialogue centered, all that kind of stuff. But this website, the Writer Duet, really formats it for you, and you really only have to select like what you need. So I think that it's mostly formatted correctly. I did have a few questions as I was writing it too. Like there's 2 montages in the movie, or there would be, so I had to figure out like how do you write a montage, and there's like several different ways to write it. So I just went with the one that I felt made the most sense to me. But yeah, and they also say with like the formatting of a screenplay, every page is roughly a minute of screen time. That's not exact, but it's like an average. So I was shooting for 100 pages, so it'd be like an hour and 40 minutes. I got to 94, so it would be like a, roughly like a 95 minute movie, a bit longer, a bit shorter. I didn't want it to be too long. I didn't want to, I don't want it to be like 2 hours, you know what I mean? It's like, I feel like an hour and a half, hour 40, maybe even hour 45 would be good for like, a first time, filmmaker, I guess, to try to make. So that's what I got right now. And that's what I've been working on the last 2 weeks. And I just have been hammering it out. I've been working on it every day, like all day long. Like I wake up and just start writing and go until whenever, midnight. Last night was like 2:30 in the morning. But I have the first draft done. So that's cool. Again, I don't know if I'll ever be able to do anything with it in particular, because obviously I need, like a budget, I need resources, I need equipment, I need actors, I need all that shit. Right. And I don't know if I'm ever going to get any of that shit, but at least if I can perfect this, if I can perfect the story as much as I want to, at least I have something to show people. At least I can be like, hey, if you want to do this, if you could think about doing this, I have it. We just need to gather what we need to gather. We need to get a team assembled and make it happen. I also wrote it in a way where I can take out particular scenes and just film one scene and use that as sort of like my test reel, use that as sort of like my proof of concept. So for instance, I tried to make the beginning of the film very contained, kind of like the beginning of Scream. How if you take like Drew Barrymore's scene in Scream, and that's the only thing you watched in the whole movie and you didn't watch the rest of it, it kind of works as a short film, right? Like you could watch that just as a short film. It's just a girl that gets a call, someone's watching her outside, makes her answer a bunch of crazy questions, and then ultimately she dies. Like that in a pocket is a short film. So I was thinking about that, and I wrote my opening scene in a way where that could also be viewed in a pocket, and that could just be a short film. So if I could get 2 actors, is all the first scene would require, and I could just film the first scene, I could take that as a short film and then use that to show people, it'd be like 10 minutes long, like a 10-minute long movie, and be like, hey, does this seem cool to you? Like, would you like to be part of this? And I could use that as like as a way to hopefully maybe try to get people on board. But yeah, that's the idea right now. And if nothing ever happens with it, also, who knows? Maybe I would try to like sell it in the future or something. If I could. I don't know. I have no idea. I just wanted to get it written. I just wanted to get it. I just wanted to get it out there. I just wanted to get it done. You know what I mean? Dazed and Dead. I kind of like that. It's not like Dazed and Confused in the sense there's no stoners in the movie. Not really. I just mean like it's a bunch of friends hanging out that really know each other very well and have very in-depth conversations, kind of like a Richard Linklater style movie. Yeah, Possessed remake. It is sort of a Possessed remake in a way. The story has drastically changed, like drastically. But I think that Possessed was the first. It was a movie I made when I was 15 years old. I made a video talking about it on the channel once. That's what Vampire's talking about. But yeah, I always kind of kept that in the back of my mind. Like there is an aspect of Possessed in the movie. I think just because there's just that like idea that's kind of like always been floating there, but they are radically different though. Like radically, like nothing is really the same except for like two elements. Two elements of it are the same, but everything else is different. Current opinion on Dragon Ball Super. I don't read it, and I stopped watching it when it was airing, like around the Trunks arc. I couldn't get into Dragon Ball Super. It just kept letting me down and pissing me off. It just, yeah, wasn't a fan. Wasn't a fan. I love Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball Z. I like Dragon Ball GT, and I don't like Dragon Ball Super. MD Negative, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it, buddy. Are you a pantser or a plotter when writing your screenplay? Hold on. I think I know what you mean, but I don't want to sound stupid. Which is probably what I do mostly on YouTube, actually, is sound stupid. But, wait. Okay, yeah. A plotter plans their story in advance with a detailed outline, while a pantser writes spontaneously, making it up as they go. I'll tell you this. I think I am a bit of both, but I am more of a plotter in that regard. Because I did write everything out on note cards. So, and this is actually something that I did because I watched an interview with Robert Rodriguez, and he was talking about like this is his method of writing, and I thought it sounded cool, so I was like, yeah, let me try it out. So these are my note cards about everything that was going to happen in the movie, basically like point by point, like this happens and this happens and this happens. This is my outline in my note cards. So I did write all of that out. However, in the course of writing, I always find that things change. Things don't always work out the way that you originally intended. And the way that it usually goes is, for me, is like once I start to really know my characters, because I can write my characters down and I can know who they are like before I start writing. But once you actually start getting into like needing to make them speak and needing to make them have conversations with each other, they start to really come into their own in a different way than like the original vision. So I would say as far as like plotting out the story with the note cards, about half of the note cards are exactly how I wrote it, but about halfway through, things really, really started to change, and the the third act is completely different. It's completely different from how I originally structured it. You know, so I guess I'm a little bit of both. I'm a little bit of both. I plotted out in the sense that these are the points that I want to reach going towards the ending, but in the course of writing it, I just allow the freedom of the characters to take me to different places, if that makes sense. And like the ending is completely different, but I think the ending that I came up with is better. And that's the thing too, is like when I wrote it all down on the note cards and I was like thinking of all the different individual scenes, I thought the ending was awesome. I was like, oh yeah, this ending's gonna kick ass. And then when I was writing it, I was getting to like the finale and I was like, that ending is stupid. Like it's not gonna make any sense now, because things have just changed enough to where like it just wasn't gonna hit as hard. So I completely changed it to something else, and now I think that the ending I have is better. And spoiler, this is not a spoiler, but like the final shot of the movie is going to be like a parallel to the opening shot of the movie, which was not my original intention. So in a way, it came out better because now it kind of like bookends itself. Like it kind of opens and ends the same way. And that wasn't the original intent. So I think it came out better. But I wouldn't be arrogant enough to say that it's good. But like it's better than it was the first time around. The first idea that I had was not as good. Thank you for the question, though, man. I appreciate it. Great beard. You should grow it out like a Viking. I thought about it. We're going to see how it goes. The only issue I have with growing the beard out is that my beard tends to get a little bit scraggly. Like you can kind of already see it. And, I try to trim it down. I try to make it look a little bit better, but I just don't want it to look like a homeless man beard. You know what I mean? Like I don't want it to look unkept. And I try to. It's just like the hair on top of my head. Like that's why I always shave it. Is because after it grows out to a certain point, it just gets like wavy and nasty and weird and like, it's like constant bedhead, and it doesn't look, it's not like sexy bedhead. It's like, ew, gross, like go take a shower bedhead. It's just like, this doesn't work. And I feel like the beard is kind of the same way. So like, I'm going to do my best. But if it gets to that point where I feel like it's just way too scraggly, I'm going to have to trim it down. You know what I mean? Oh, I've also, while I've not been writing, I've also started to play Doom, and it's fucking awesome. I'm so glad that I finally have played it. And yeah, I need to finish it and then play the other ones. And I've been listening to the Doom soundtrack like constantly. It's very good gym motivation, I would say. Excited to be creative and to be surrounded by that kind of mindsets. I know, and I feel like that's what I need more of, like in my personal life. Like I do get it from the sense of like making things on YouTube and getting your guys' feedback and everything. But I would be excited about the idea of like trying to find people that are interested in doing these things. Like I would love to find somebody that like wants to be a cinematographer. Like they're just like, I just want to do, like I know how to work the camera. I know how to set up the shots. Like this is what I want to do. I would be like, that's amazing. That's incredible. That's what I need. Or like people that are really passionate about acting. And that's another thing like I'm kind of nervous about, because I do have like a lot of emotional things in the story. And I'm thinking about like, okay, the actors I'm going to find are probably going to be like college students. And like, that's not to say that they're bad actors, but I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, am I going to be able to find the people that I need to do this if that comes to it, you know what I mean? And then also have to tell them, hey, by the way, I have like no money, so I can't really pay you. I will bring you donuts and Monster Energy drinks. I'll hook you up with that, but like I don't think I can really pay you. Brandon, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Appreciate it. I know the feels, man. When I grew out my hair, it was like 2 years of WTF is my hair. Looks good now, though. Yeah, and that's what I tell people all the time, you know? It's like, they're like, grow out your hair. It's like, listen, you don't want me to. You don't want me to. It looks like shit. And I've done it a couple of times. There's video evidence. Actually, earlier this year, it was longer. And it looks like shit. And I keep telling people that. It's like, that's why I shave it. That's why I buzz it. Because it looks like shit. The beard comes in much better, I will say. Of the two, the beard comes in much better. But both of them, if they get too long, just becomes, scraggly and nasty. And it's just no good. It's just no good. Openings are harder to write than endings for you. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I think it's because I think an ending kind of comes to you a little bit more naturally because you're progressing to that point. So you eventually kind of realize where things are going to end up. But starting is really, really hard. And what I found to be extremely difficult is basically what a script is writing dialogue. And I used to be, I don't want to say I was good at it, but like I used to just be able to do it. Like nothing. All the stuff I wrote when I was younger or as a teen or in my, early mid 20s and everything, like I would write all these scripts and I would have no problem having characters have conversations. But I had a really, really hard time getting conversations going this time around. And I think there's a couple of reasons why. I think number one is just because I haven't written like this in probably like a decade. So that's probably one. Number two is like, if I want to actually make this into a movie, like, I'm probably thinking about it a little bit too harshly because I'm like, what if I actually get to do it? I want the dialogue to be good. And then I think the third reason, and I think the biggest reason why I had such a hard time with it is just simply because I'm not really around a lot of people anymore. So I'm not around a lot of conversation. Like I have my friends, you know what I mean? And we've been friends forever. And like, when they're around, like conversation flows very, very easily. But like, I'm not in groups of people. Like I spend a lot of time by myself, you know what I mean? And I like it that way. I'm not complaining about that. But like, I think when I was younger, I was just around people so much more that it was a lot easier to find different voices, like how different people speak or how different personalities interact and stuff like that. I just like, you're around it, so you kind of ingest it in your head and you can kind of like draw from that, right? But it's been so long since I've been around a lot of people and didn't like, I interact with like my girlfriend, my friends. I have like 3 or 4 like really close friends, other like acquaintances and stuff. It's like I'm around the same people, so I'm not hearing different voices as much, so I think that made it a lot harder. You look like Eminem. I get that a lot, but I actually haven't got that in a long time. I used to get that all the time. I think it was when the hair was more buzzed and the beard was more prominent. I look like Eminem a lot. Yeah. Not nearly as talented, unfortunately. Although, you get me hyped up enough and you put on Real Slim Shady, I may or may not be able to rap all of the lyrics, perfectly. So I don't know. We're not there yet. We're not at that point, but it can happen. Are you going to see Super Mario Galaxy? Probably, yeah. I saw the first Super Mario movie. Not the 90s live action. Well, I have seen that, but I meant the the one that they're making a sequel to. I thought it was pretty good. You should go to a writer's seminar and meet people to collab with. That is a pretty good idea. I'd probably have to travel a bit, but I think that when this starts to become a little bit more serious and I'm like really, really trying to get it moving, I think I'm going to have to put myself in those kind of environments. You know what I mean? To try to meet people that are also interested. Yeah, go full Kubrick on your actors until they get the part exactly right. Oh man. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm that quite that, what's the word for it? Neurotic perfectionist. Yeah. I guess it would depend. Everyone's different, Everyone draws from a different place. So I guess I would have to really meet the people and see what they respond to. But I think also the fun thing about it too is that when someone wants to portray a character, they bring their own spin on it and they might create something that you had no idea about. So I do want to, in my mind, I do want to give people the freedom to kind of create the character themselves and do their own thing with it. It's just, kind of like keep them within within the lines, like do whatever you want, but within the lines. I foresee the most difficult thing for me, other than funding, is going to be the lighting and how I want to block everything, because that's what I have like the least amount of experience with. Because there's a particular vibe, a particular tone, a particular look and feel that I envision, but I don't really know how to create it, and I'm going to have to like talk to a lot of different people to try to figure out how I get what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? Golden Boy was inspiring and educational. I mean, yeah, in some ways, certainly. Weird. YouTube changed its whole interface when it comes to streaming. Everything looks different. I think I noticed this last time I streamed, but I wasn't investigating it as much. It is a lot different. I'm gonna pick up the Baki manga. Came out in English. I might. It's not like a high priority right now, but if I find it in the wild and I'm feeling frisky, I might pick it up. I'm just happy that it exists now in English out here. And I still haven't read Kingdom, but that's out now too. So that's pretty cool. Fist of the North Star just completed, I think, its run in the physical volumes here. So all of these manga that like 5 or 6, 7 years ago, I was sitting around bitching and moaning, like, why don't they have physical copies? Now they pretty much all do, which is crazy. Now we just need to get Bastard to come back in physical volumes here, and Eden, It's an Endless World. If I could have those two, I think I'd feel complete. Do you work with a 3-act structure? I mean, yeah, I would say yes for the most part. I mean, I'm not really like consciously thinking about it when I was writing, but that's kind of how it fell into place. I feel like most stories do. Uh, yeah, Kodo says, yeah, this is what, yeah, it was asked earlier, are you more of an architect structure or a gardener making it develop organically? I said I'm kind of somewhere in the middle, I feel like, because I mapped everything out in note cards. I have like this entire stack, which was pretty much the entire story beat by beat of like everything that was going to happen. And after getting to the end of the first draft, I can say about half of the note cards came true, but the second half of the note cards really radically changed because I feel like once I get to know the characters better, once I get to hear their voices and have them have conversations and really make decisions, then I allow it to go in different directions than what I intended, you know? So it's like, this is how I originally thought it was going to end, but in the course of writing, you know, I was kind of pulled forth to a different direction, and I just kind of let that go. I just kind of went with the flow of that. So I have like places I want to end up, like an ending I kind of want to get to, but I got there a different way. And then because I got there a different way, I did have to change the ending. But I think the new ending is better than what I originally came up with, so I'm okay with it. So not that strict, but I do like to have a guideline. Would you hope the movie gets put in theaters, or are you planning to just to be a YouTube exclusive? Right now, I'm not planning on anything. I just wanted to write it. I have no idea like what will become of it, but I wanted to have a completed script so that I have something physical I can show somebody to try to get people on board if they want to get on board. You know what I mean? And I also wrote it in a way I was saying earlier where my opening scene is kind of like it can be viewed as a short film if you watched it in a pocket and you didn't see the rest of the movie. So my idea is that if I have a completed script that I can show people and maybe get people interested and on board, then I could also, you know, if I could get two actors that say they want to do it, I could film the opening scene, which is like maybe like 10 minutes, you know, it would be like a 10-minute scene. And that works as a short film. And then I could take that as like a proof of concept and show other people and be like, this is kind of what we're doing. This is the opening act, yada, opening scene. You know, if you're interested, like this is my style. These are some of the actors, yada, yada. And if people like the short film, which I would probably upload on YouTube also, then, you know, maybe I could get more people on board. So right now I'm kind of just viewing it like hopefully a ladder, you know, like hopefully there's escalation. Like I hope that it starts as a script, then it starts as people being interested, then it starts as finding actors, then it goes to making a short, then it goes to hopefully getting funding, and yada, 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 and like builds its way up. So for me, it's like as far as it can go up is as far as I would want to take it. So if it goes up to the point where I only make a short film, then I only make a short film. If it goes up to the point where I make the whole film, you know, then it's like, okay, let's try to do something with that. Let's try to at least have a premiere maybe somewhere, you know, rent out a theater. If all else fails, you know, put it on YouTube, whatever. If people like it and a miracle happens and then it was like picked up or something, you know, that could happen. You know, wherever it goes, however high up the ladder goes is how high up it goes. It might only be a step stool, you know, I might only get to this point. I might only have a written script and that's it, and nothing ever happens, you know? So I'm just going to keep climbing as much as I can climb, basically. Have you read any Nietzsche or his spiritual predecessor? Cannot pronounce the name. Their philosophy is rampant in Berserk. I only know a little bit. Like I tried to read some Nietzsche like 10 years ago when I thought I was like really, really smart. And actually, I never really thought I was smart, but I was like, I'm gonna try to read Nietzsche. And I got Thus Spoke Zarathustra, you know, And I tried so hard. I tried so hard, but I just was not up to the task at the time. I still have it, I think. I'm pretty sure it's still in my collection. I'll try to read it again someday. Um, Thoughts on Einstein Kills song, the laughing track? I thought it was okay. I liked it. I don't think it's their best. You know, I don't think it's quite up to par with a lot of their other stuff, but I liked it all right. 3 act structure is good. Somehow your story will play out itself after some plots. Uh, yeah, I feel like a lot of, I mean, it just kind of naturally falls into that, right? Like, um, because like you have your first act, which is like building up and establishing things and establishing the status quo and your characters and whatever. Then you have like the inciting incident that changes things, and you have like all of your progression building towards what's going to be the climax in your second act, and then you have your final act, which is where everything comes to a head, everything built up, comes into play, all the setups lead to payoffs, and it's like it's hard not to write a story like that. There's probably some really good examples, but I feel like most things kind of just naturally fit into that format. Let's see. What is this? Can I do this? I'm messing with YouTube's live stream shit. I don't know how this works. Maybe I can't do it. Why can't I do it? It says there's a super chat goal that I could put on the screen, but it's not letting me use it. Maybe I have to set that up before I start streaming. Interesting. Yeah. Fine. I won't use it. Then there's top fans. Oh, shit. I didn't want to do that. The whole layout is different. I'm just kind of like figuring it out. Sorry. Probably should have done that before I started. It's not letting me. I'll try it again next time. Did you see The Running Man? No, I mean, I'm pretty sure it just came out today. I have not seen it. I do want to see that, and I also want to see the movie Keeper, which is the new Osgood Perkins movie, but I probably will not have any time this weekend to watch them. How many characters are in your film? There are 7 main characters, but there's a few like one speaking line characters that pop up, but 7 main characters. Review True Detective Season 1. Also check out Song of Ice and Fire book series. I feel like that's a massive endeavor. The book series is a massive endeavor, and of course it's not complete. And so it's like, do I want another incomplete series, to get into? True Detective, that is something I do want to check out. People have been telling me about that for years, and I still haven't got around to it. Also, I didn't know if you guys would want episodic reviews of Pluribus. I did not plan on reviewing that show as part of the channel, but I watched the first 2 episodes and I loved it. And the video did pretty well. I got like 6,000 views on it, which is pretty good for me, if it's not like a big video, you know? So if you guys want episodic reviews of Pluribus, let me know, because I need to watch episode 3. It came out. The Villain, thank you, bro. Appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super chat says Sydney Sweeney. I don't know. I've only seen her in a couple of things. Like I don't know what you mean. Like, do I like Sydney Sweeney? Do I find her attractive? I don't know what the question is. I've seen her in the horror movie Immaculate. I actually thought she was pretty good in that movie. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't really seen her in anything else that I can think of, because I never watched like the Euphoria show. I never watched like the romantic comedies and stuff. So the only thing I've ever watched her in was Immaculate, but I thought that was a pretty good movie. I mean, it's not amazing. It's like a B tier horror movie, but it's pretty good, and she's pretty good in it. So there's that. I mean, she's got massive honkin' badonkers. I don't know if that's what you want me to say, but yeah, I thought she was good in that, but that's like the only thing that I've seen her in. So I don't know. Don't really have an opinion beyond that. That seems to be what most people talk about when they bring her up. And to be fair, it seems like that is what she tries to get people to talk about as well, because like there was that what was it? The big event they had with like Jamie Lee Curtis and stuff, and she wore the dress that was like completely see-through. It's like, well, obviously you know what you're doing. That wasn't a mistake. Do you like Phantasm? I don't really know. I know I've seen Phantasm, but I don't really remember much from it. Like, I know the tall man and the spheres and the weird, trippy dimension stuff, but that is a franchise that I always kind of wanted to go back and watch all of the Phantasm movies. And now that I've kind of gone through all the big dogs, you know what I mean? Like, I made it through Hellraiser at this point, so it's like the horror franchises that are left that have lots of sequels, I mean, Phantasm is up there. You know, Phantasm's one of them. So I will have to do that at some point. I'm not going to do Puppet Master, though. There's no way. There's no way. There's like 15 Puppet Master movies. There doesn't need to be that many Puppet Master movies. Of all movies that don't need 15 movies, it's Puppet Master. And yet somehow it does. It even has spin-off movies, which is crazy. Crazy how much older the beard makes you look compared to if you just had a mustache or shaved it. Well, I guess that's maybe a good thing, because I often, I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't know. Because I often get told that I look younger than I am. So maybe the beard will help me be, be perceived a little bit more older and wiser and more distinguished. I don't know. Watching all of Batman the Animated Series, it's awesome. Thinking of hitting other adaptations like Beyond, Beware, and Brave and the Bold. Hell yeah, man. I still think Batman the Animated Series is, like the best. I think that is my favorite DC universe, is that whole like Paul Dini, Bruce Timm, Batman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond, Justice League Unlimited. That whole universe is like my favorite DC universe. It's like my go-to. I do want to watch through Batman the Animated Series again. It's been a long time. I did Batman Beyond like a couple of years ago. I rewatched through all of that, and that is also awesome. So I would definitely recommend Batman Beyond. I think they should make a Batman Beyond movie. You know what I mean? I don't know why they haven't. Probably because DC has like the worst decision-making skills when it comes to what movies they're going to make. Guts versus 100 Men or Musashi versus 70 Samurai. Was it 70? Was that the number? Was it 70? Was it 80? I can't remember. Which one do I think is better? Like in terms of like the intensity or like I think that the 100-man fight in Berserk, you know, means a lot for Guts as a character, like wondering why he's fighting and what he's doing this for, and it being a moment where he is protecting Casca without even realizing he's protecting Casca, you know? It's like why it's so important. But it's also important for Musashi. From what I remember, it's like that's just an extremely chaotic moment, you know? I mean, I lean towards the Berserk one, obviously, but I mean, they're both good. They're both great. Phantasm, the old Mickey Mouse movie. No, that would be Fantasia. That would be Fantasia. Fantasia is also awesome, by the way. Fantasia is a great movie. It showcases some incredible animation and stuff that we would never see nowadays because now everything has to be CG animated, and Disney has long shut down their 2D animation studios, and it's a shame. It's actually pretty heartbreaking, you know? If you go back and watch something like Fantasia and you see just like the absolute beauty and artistry of that film, and then you think about the kind of stuff that Disney puts out today, and it's like a night and day difference, man. I mean, Pixar still has good stuff here and there, but like, you know, just the creativity and like the artistic integrity of those early days of Disney animation, man, like it really is astounding what they could create. You know what I mean? So like watching Fantasia is awesome, but then it also hurts because you realize Disney will never put out anything that looks nearly that good, probably ever again. Ugh, I feel like I need to, you know, I'm going to get, at some point, I'm going to try to get a different microphone so I can like put it in a different location and not be so uncomfortable when I'm talking into it. Like, what if I want to lean back here? You know what I mean? But like the microphone's so far away, I got to talk louder. You know, it's annoying. I want to get a microphone where I can just like lean back in the chair, be super casual. You know what I mean? Can't do that right now. Fantasia is the father of stories. Fantasia is incredible, man. I gotta get that. Do they have like a 4K of that? That would be great. I should look that up. That'd be like the first Disney movie I bought in forever. But if I could find Fantasia in 4K, I would buy that so fast. Crazy how that kind of animation came from the 60s. Yeah, you know, and the 70s had some wild animation. Like if you look up movies like Watership Down or what's God, I'm trying to think of the name of this movie. Fuck, what's it called? It's called it's like in the future, and it's weird. It's like in the future, it's this crazy 70s animated movie, and this evil character uses like old like Nazi propaganda to like influence a group of like demonic things, and then there's like a war. It's like this it's like it's animated in that kind of crazy like Fantasia Watership Down style. What the fuck is the name of the movie? I can't remember. It's like a fantasy movie, but there's like all this like weird crazy like Nazi imagery in it that like, and it's about like this war that happens. I can't think of what it's called. Damn, but it's like an incredibly well made movie. Like it's so crazy and like creepy and weird and like the 70s. They also that's when like those Lord of the Rings animated movies came out, and those have like a really cool style to them. Also, like a lot of crazy weird animation was coming out of the 70s, man, and I missed that kind of stuff. I miss that kind of stuff because I feel like now animation looks. I'm not gonna say it doesn't look bad, but like a lot of Pixar stuff all looks the same. You know what I mean? There's a lack of like an individual style to it. You know, there are some out there and a lot of them come in the form of like short films. Like I think Flow was pretty good. But like a lot of these animated movies now, like all the Pixar characters all look the same. Like regardless of what kind of movie it is, whether they're doing humans or whether they're doing something else, like they all kind of look the same. And I miss that kind of like really heavy stylized animation, of like that really I feel like maybe only hand drawn can give you at this point. Yeah, Wizard. Yeah, Wizards. I think that's the name of the movie. It's called Wizards. Yes, that is Wizards from 1977. Has some crazy animation. It looks very similar to like the Lord of the Rings animated films from around the same era. But it has all of this like war imagery in it and these like dark shadows. Like there's these creatures that are covered in shadow and you can see kind of like the blue or red hue outline around them. Yeah, really cool stuff. Stuff like that, man. We don't get stuff like that anymore. Super chat, MD negative. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, man, I am writing a novel. Does your screenplay have horrendous grammatical issues, and do you keep going in spite of it? Yes and no. I mean, autocorrect is a beautiful thing, and I try to I try to use it as much as possible. But when it comes to characters talking, like dialogue, so writing a novel is a little bit different. You do have characters speaking, but a script is like 90% just dialogue, and you're just describing like the action and the movements, but you're not getting into detail. So I imagine writing in the novel format is a lot harder when it comes to the grammatical stuff, because you're thinking about, how a sentence is structured and not to have run-ons and all that kind of stuff, not to use too many adjectives or too little adjectives or whatever you're doing. When it comes to characters speaking, I feel like there's a little bit more leniency when it comes to grammatical errors because people don't always speak in grammatically correct ways. For instance, I have a lot of characters starting a sentence with the word but, which you're not supposed to do, but people do that because they pause and then they say but and they continue. So like they end a statement and then they say, but this could happen, yada, yada. It's not really part of the same sentence. So, there is a lot of grammatical errors, I think, when I write people speaking, but I think that that's just the natural way people speak, so I don't really worry about it, if that makes any sense. But yeah, if you're writing a novel and you're describing things or like setting a scene and you're, explaining the room that you're in, that your character's in, I imagine there's probably a lot more attention to detail that you have to pay for the grammatical side of things. I think that also, I mean, I don't know if you have people like reading it, but sometimes if you get somebody that you trust to kind of like read or give you a critique or something, they'll find things that you didn't notice before. I mean, that's why, writers have editors and shit, right? Is because like, I'm sure even fucking Stephen King, has grammatical errors and his editor's like, dude, like what are you doing here? You know what I mean? Like, where's your comma? Where's your apostrophe? Yada, yada, yada. So I'm sure it's just a natural thing that like anybody, encounters. So don't judge yourself too harshly on it. Just write your way through it, go back, reread, fix things as you go along, that sort of thing. Anyways, I have to pee, so I'll be right back. That was the Psyduck of wisdom. He watches and judges me constantly. He sits right above me, and he's always looming down and judging every single thing that I do and say. So he's kind of like a YouTube commenter in a way. Yeah. What was I doing? I don't remember. Wizards. Yeah. Find that movie and watch it. Also, I'm going to implement this from this point forward. If anyone wants to donate a super chat, I will do 1 push-up for every $1 that you send in. I will work for it. Like the villain. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Thank you, villain. When you get a chance, do a long-form video on Silent Hill movies would be dope. Like your Resident Evil video, Silent Hill 2 Remake is a must-play. Yes. So I'm not well-versed in Silent Hill as of now, but I do really want to get into it. And I'm wondering, because, I mean, obviously, I'm trying to wait till the games come down in price, because right now I think all the Silent Hill 2 Remake is still like 60 or 70 bucks on Steam. So if they have another big sale or something and it's down, I'm probably going to snag it. But I was wondering, like, is that actually a good one to start with? Or, because I heard they're remaking Silent Hill 1, and I feel like it would make sense to play 1 before 2. You know what I mean? But I don't know the order to play them in, because I know a lot of the older games are really hard to find, and you know, I could do like emulators and stuff like that. But like, I think I'd want to try the remakes out. You know what I mean? But I don't know if just jumping into Silent Hill 2 is the way to go, or if I should just hold out and then play like 1 and 2 right after each other. You know, I don't know. But the villain sent in $5, so I have to do 5 push-ups. And they're good push-ups too. We're not fucking around. We're not bitching out. Good push-ups all the way. Chest to the floor. All right. I will work. I will work for my rewards. Have you seen One Punch Man Season 3? Yeah, I have not watched a single episode. I have seen what it looks like, and I have seen people comment on it, and I have watched videos from people that I follow that specifically cover One Punch Man and are fans, and I've heard all the critiques, and I think that I'm going to pass, which is a shame. You know, I'd hate to say that, but I think that it really is just a travesty. It really is just like one of the biggest drops of quality, one of the biggest failures that I've seen in my lifetime when it comes to anime adaptations. And I'm saying that knowing that Berserk 2016 exists. I mean, at this point, from what I've seen, again, I haven't watched an actual episode for myself, so I can't say, but I've seen clips and I've seen people talk about it, and I've seen the biggest One Punch Man fans in the world talk about it. I can say that, like, I feel like this is a bigger disservice to the One Punch Man manga than Berserk 2016 is to Berserk. I think so. That's what it seems like to me, which again is one of those things that, like, I never thought would be possible. But here we are. Here we are. And see, I remember, like, reading this portion of the manga and it being some of my favorite stuff. And I just don't want to see it portrayed that way. So, you know, no shade to, you know, the creators and stuff. You know, it's probably not down to the animators themselves. It's probably the higher ups and, you know, the studios and stuff like that. You know, I don't wish any ill will towards anybody working on it, but it is definitely a travesty for sure. I think of the two, I would rather watch Berserk 2016. Silent Hill 3 is a sequel to 1, and 2 is its own thing. Interesting. So I would be able to play the Silent Hill 2 remake knowing nothing about the series and be able to get into it. Like, is that a good access point? Is it a good entry point? Or is it like mandatory to play the older games? I don't know. With Resident Evil, I feel like opinions were all over the place across the board. You know, it was kind of like nobody could really, there was no, I don't feel like there was any like true consensus as far as like which games to play in Resident Evil, like the remakes or the originals. I like there was very like equal amounts of people saying both. But with Silent Hill, I'm not sure. But as I said, I'm playing the Doom games right now, and I'm having a good time with that. Just going in and beating the crap out of demons from hell, and like you know, to like the heaviest metal possible in the background. It's a good time. I'm enjoying it. Hanging out on Mars, you know. All the budget went into Fubuki. You'd think I would be okay with that, but it's still disappointing. Happy never got into One Punch Man. That's the case. I mean, One Punch Man is a great series. It's just had a massive fumbling as far as the anime goes. But I'll read manga also, so like that it doesn't necessarily like I don't know. I feel like I'm weird because I don't necessarily always need like an anime adaptation of a manga. Like I'm okay with just a manga, you know? Like it's like with One Punch Man and right now and Berserk also, you know, it's unfortunate. Like I wish like if I had the option to say, "Hey, there could be a great anime of this." Of course I would say, "Yes, do it, make it." But if there's not and the manga continues and the manga completes, I'm kind of okay with just the manga. Like I don't need a Berserk anime as badly as I need the manga to complete. Like there's like a priority list. It's like I'd rather have a completed manga and be able to enjoy that and read the story, and I'm fine with that. If they give me a good anime on top of that, it's just like, you know, the cherry on top. It's just like, okay, that's awesome too. I'm happy to have that. I will receive that. But like if I don't have that, that's okay as long as I get the manga and the manga completes. I'm fine with just that. But I think what sucks is when you start it, like they start an anime and then they either don't complete it or it falls into the territory that One Punch Man did where it just gets worse and worse every season. That's the real unfortunate part. Like that's worse than having no anime at all. You know what I mean? Like it's worse when it starts out really good and then you get to season 3 and it's the worst thing you've ever seen. Do you like Halo? I never got into Halo much. Halo was super, super popular when I was younger, but I never really had an Xbox. I was more of a PlayStation guy, so I would play it at friends' houses, and I would enjoy it enough. I just never had enough time with it to get good, and so I would usually just get my ass kicked, you know? I mean, I liked it back in the day, but I never really, I didn't get into it as heavily as my friends did. Struggle, endure, contend. Probably the most powerful quote in Berserk. I'd agree. I'd put it up there. That's pretty high up there. I would say that one and there is no paradise for you to sorry. There is no paradise for you to escape to. That's pretty high up there for me. As well as Guts saying, even if you painstakingly put everything back together, it won't be the way it was before. I think that's also pretty high up there for me. Oh yeah, and One Punch Man fans being like, I waited 6 years for this. Yeah, that too is the wait in between seasons. Although that's not like an anime specific problem. That's just a problem with TV shows in general right now. Like, we are so far removed from like the yearly episodic format. Like now it's like a season of a show comes out and the next season is like 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 6 years away. It's crazy, man. So I hate that, and I hate that. I miss getting the yearly seasons and a new batch of episodes every time September would roll around, you'd get a new batch of episodes of your favorite show. It's just not like that anymore. Think about Stranger Things is going to have its final season, which is season 5, and it's been 10 years. So it's like 10 years for 5 seasons, and how many episodes? Like every season has like what? Maybe like 6 episodes, 8 episodes. I know the episodes are like an hour or an hour and a half long or whatever. So you're basically getting a bunch of movies, but still, you go back and look at, a show like Buffy the Vampire Slayer from back in the day. You got 7 seasons, all came out every single year, 7 years in a row, and you got 22 episodes a season. So, runtime wise, that's so much more than we get today. I know shows now have like more budgets and stuff, but like, I don't know. There's something special about getting like almost an entire year worth of episodes. Like it starts in September and it goes until May. You get like an entire, you get like a literal actual season, of episodes of your favorite show, rather than a season being, 4 weeks and it's over. Too Vivid, what's up, bro? Brother, on chapter 283 of Vagabond. Hell yeah, man. I don't know which chapter 283 is off the top of my head, but I know that you've been reading through the series again, and that's awesome, man. I told Too Vivid my Vagabond story the first time I read that manga. I'd read about the first 4 volumes, like, periodically, and then there was one night where I fell asleep early. I think I was feeling sick or something. I fell asleep early, and then I woke up and it was like 9 p.m., and I hate when that happens. Like you take a nap or you fall asleep accidentally, and then you wake up and it's like late at night and you know that you're going to be up all night. So I started reading Vagabond and picking up where I left off, and I just kept reading it and reading it and reading it. And then all of a sudden it was like 2 in the morning and I just kept going. And then it was 3 in the morning and I just kept going. And I literally read the entire fucking manga in one sitting, which is something I never do because I like to space things out. I like to enjoy the journey. But there was something about this one night where I was just so locked in that I just didn't stop. And I knew that the night was compromised anyways because I wasn't going to be able to fall asleep. So I was like, let's just read more Vagabond. I literally read Vagabond until like 6 in the morning. And I read all the way up to the last chapter. I read the whole fucking thing in one night. That was the first time I read Vagabond. It's crazy. Also, Too Vivid sent in $2, so I got to do 2 push-ups. You guys can do push-ups along with me if you want. Get your workout in. There you go. Thank you, bro, for the dono. Berserk is the best manga in the world. I agree. Favorite character in Berserk? I mean, it's obviously Guts. I think it's hard to not say Guts. I think he's probably the best fictional character probably that I've ever read, at least like right up there, like top 3, if not number 1. So it's hard not to say Guts. I'll say like other characters that I really like. I think Farnese has a wonderful story, and I think that she's probably the most developed character in the entire manga, other than Guts himself. I also love Zod, motherfucking Zod. I'm a huge fan of Zod for whatever reason. He's just simple, to the point, doesn't fuck around. I just appreciate him, you know? I really like Mozgus as a villain. I like that kind of twisted idea of a character that truly believes that they are doing the right thing when in fact they are doing everything wrong. And I also am a big fan of Roderick. I think that Roderick is one of the best characters in the manga, and I love that he is a subversion of the whole like rich aristocrat, you know, like noble douchebag, like, you know, to be wed to Farnese or whatever. So like you think he's gonna come in and be this total asshole, this total like pompous, you know, douchebag, you know, whatever, but he's actually like an honorable man. He's a badass, he's a ship captain, he's ripped, he's willing to fight, he actually genuinely loves Farnese. Like, he just subverts every trope that he could have been. And I think that he's constantly proved himself to be a great character. He's a great leader. He's a great strategist. He's a great fighter. And he also knows when to draw back and let Guts lead the show. Like, there are times where Roderick is the guy that makes more sense to be the leader when it comes to navigating and being on the ship and that kind of stuff. And there's other times where there's a giant fucking demon and Roderick's like, all right, Guts, what do we do? you know, like, so he knows when to draw back, but he also knows when to take charge. So he's got so many layers to him that I think are underappreciated. And I think that if there's any character that's probably the most underrated in like the general, you know, fandom, it's probably Roderick, I would say. I don't think Roderick gets nearly enough praise as he should. So I think those are kind of in general, I'd say, my favorite characters. Thoughts on Wild? You know, Wild. He's a wild lad. I don't know. Wild is look. I don't hate the Wild segment of the manga, but it's definitely not something that I feel like I really gravitate to too much. Like, I don't. I feel like that part of the story, like, I'm just waiting for it to get over with to get to the Eclipse stuff, you know? But what I do like about it is it showing how difficult it is to just take down one apostle. So it does kind of set up the idea, like, this one apostle is so nasty and disgusting and evil and horrible and terrible. Like, it's showing you the worst of the worst, right? And you're only dealing with one character. And then immediately after that, you're thrown into the Eclipse, and there's like, you know, hundreds of apostles. So it's like, oh, you know, you saw how bad Wild was. Now you're seeing, you know, all of them here. So it works in that aspect. But there is a lot of, I will admit, there's a lot of cringe moments around Wild. And I feel like that is maybe the one and only part of the story where I kind of wish Miura dialed it back a little bit. Doesn't mean that it's bad. Doesn't mean I don't like it. It just, yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, Rickert coming back made you happy. Yeah, Rickert's a great character. I mean, there's so many great characters in the story. You could make a top 20, top 30 list of great characters in the story. You know what I mean? Oh, I saw that there's going to be a season 2 of the Monarch Legacy of Monsters or whatever, set in the Godzilla Kong universe. I do remember watching season 1, and I remember reviewing it, but I don't really remember much about it. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll watch season 2. I liked all the stuff they did with Godzilla in it, but he had like one moment in every single episode, and I liked how they had Kurt Russell playing like the modern day version of that character, and then they had Kurt Russell's son playing the younger version of him. I thought that was cool, but I don't really remember a lot about the show. I feel like it's just one of those things that after I watched it, kind of fell out of my brain. Least favorite character in Berserk, guessing Griffith. No, I mean, I think Griffith's a great character. I really do. Like, I think as a villain and as he's portrayed in the story, I think he's a great character. I don't have to agree with what he does, to like him as a character. I think Griffith is incredibly well written. My least favorite main character is probably Isidro. But my least favorite character in the whole story, I think, are the pirates. I thought the pirates were pretty dumb. They were like the most annoying part of the story for me. I did not give a single shit about the pirates at all. That entire segment. I like the sea god stuff, but like the pirates specifically, Bonebeard or whatever, like I just did not give a shit about them. Yeah, more True Detective season 1. I know. I need to watch it. I do. Monarch was legit. I was surprised. Honestly don't remember too much about it. I'm not gonna go back and rewatch it though. There's just too many, just too much shit to watch. I'll just pick up with season 2 and I'll just hopefully put the pieces together. I did like the last episode of season 1 where they were in like the Hollow Earth and Godzilla showed up and fought that flying creature. That was pretty cool. And all the Kurt Russell stuff. I love Kurt Russell. He's one of my favorite actors, so I'll watch him in anything. Did you see the trailer for Scream 7? I saw a bit of it. I try really hard not to watch trailers anymore. I try to go into movies as blind as possible. But I did see some clips from it, and yeah, it looks fine. Like, I'm excited for it in general. Like, as a movie, like, I'm excited to see it. But nothing I saw from the clips or trailers did anything for me. It's cool to see Nev Campbell back. And I hope they can really work in and do something special with bringing back the characters that they're bringing back with like Matthew Lillard and stuff. I don't know what they're going to do with him, with the character of Stu, but I hope that it is actually something special and not just like a throwaway, I don't know, quick little flashback or, I heard that they might integrate AI into the movie. So like there might be like an AI version of Stu that isn't really Stu or whatever. There's probably a way they can make it work, but I hope that it's actually him and they find a creative way to bring him back. Emailed Dark Horse to translate the Holy Land manga and they didn't give you a response. Oh, I'm sorry, bro. Maybe someday. Hey, I mean, like I said, I was surprised that we got Baki, so there's always hope. It's a pretty popular manga, I think. A lot of people like it. I feel like someday it will. Most iconic villain of Danny Phantom? I don't know. I don't remember Danny Phantom very well. I've watched some of it. I've seen some episodes, but it was so long ago I don't really remember. Trailer looked subpar. The only cool bit was the daughter was named Tatum. Other than that, it killed the hope for it. Soured by how Melissa Barrera was treated. Yeah, I mean, I am too. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm looking at it from the perspective of like a lot of the creators that came on after that happened had nothing to do with it, you know, at least as far as I know. Like it wasn't Kevin Williamson. It wasn't, you know, a lot of the actors. Like there's a lot of people that go into making a movie. I think if anybody should be blamed, it should be the studio, you know, and the producers and stuff, not necessarily the individual creators of Scream 7. I think it's more to blame, you know, the producers and studio heads and stuff like that, at least as far as the way that I look at it. Maybe there's more information I don't know. But I'm going to go see it. Thank you very much for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. Hi. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good Friday or Saturday or whatever the time zone you're in. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. And, well, it's a different currency, but I'll still give you 8 push-ups. It still counts. I will give you as many push-ups as dollars of your currency. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Thank you, bro. Make sure you're all doing your push-ups at home, too, by the way. It's important. Top 5 manga series. I think right now I'd probably say Berserk, Rurouni Kenshin, Vinland Saga, Hunter x Hunter, and Gantz. Scream 7 is going to introduce the Stu 1000. You know, I had a couple ideas for Scream sequels. Like the one that I wanted them to do was to go like full meta with it and have all the actors playing themselves, you know, kind of do the New Nightmare approach, because I feel like that would be, to me, that would be kind of the best way to do a Scream movie where you're bringing the old characters back. And then also it wouldn't technically interrupt anything they were doing with the Melissa Barrera movies. And if they ever did, you know, if reconcile things and she came back, they could pick up where they left off, you know? So, you know, my idea was like, why don't you do a movie where, like New Nightmare, they're making a Scream movie and Nev Campbell is playing Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox is playing Courtney Cox, and you could bring, you know, Matthew Lillard back or whatever because he would be playing himself, and you could have the Ghostface Killer killing the actors off in the same order that they were being killed in the first Scream movie, and have it be, you know, as meta as possible and have it take place in the quote unquote real world and do that kind of stuff, you know? So I thought that would be a really cool idea. And I also had another idea that I think would be interesting if you had a Ghostface killer that is stalking and killing other Ghostface. So like, kind of like how the beginning of Scream 6 was, but do an entire movie of that, where you either reveal the killer right away or you're following a different killer and then another Ghostface shows up and kills him. And it's literally a Ghostface that is like searching for all of these murders that are happening and going out and like stalking the Ghostface that are stalking regular people. So you kind of have this weird extra meta approach to it. Forgot Vagabond. I know Vagabond's up there too, man. It's hard, you know. I mean, you got like the top three, but then after that, like things get. You can always move things up or down a peg. You know what I mean? Vagabond would be in that circle in that conversation as well. Take a shot every time someone wakes up in a Hellraiser movie. Dude, depending on the movie you're watching, you would be annihilated. Especially if it was like Hellseeker. I think somebody wakes up from a dream like every other scene in that movie. I'm pretty sure you would be dead. Have you seen Boardwalk Empire? I have not. No. I know, yeah, the villains we got in the beginning of Scream 6 were better than the actual villains of the movie. I agree. I agree. I think Scream 6 has the weakest villains of the whole franchise. I also saw Eli Roth is making an Ice Cream Man movie, but it's not a. I heard that it's not a remake of the Ice Cream Man that already exists, the one that came out in like the 90s or whatever with Clint Howard. Because I thought it was meant to be a remake, but I guess it's not. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I thought he was doing Thanksgiving too. That's what he should be doing. Scream made me think of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving made me think of Eli Roth. Made me think of Ice Cream Man. That's how my brain works. So. Surprised that you like some of the Hellraiser movies. Well, you know, I honestly did try to find as many good things about each one of them as I could. I didn't want to make the video be just the whole entirety of it, just me absolutely shitting on every single movie. I mean, that's kind of what it was, but I wanted to be as fair as I could. I didn't want to just do the bit where I'm only making fun of it. It's like, I want to actually see what was this movie trying to do? What are the things that work about it? What are the things that don't? Like, I really did try to find good things in every movie. And I also found, like, as you go through the Hellraiser movies, they get so bad to a level where you kind of look back on the earlier Hellraiser movies and think, you know, in comparison, Hellraiser 3 and 4 are not that bad. In comparison to Hellseeker, Hellworld, Judgment, you know, those movies. So it kind of makes you go back and think like, you know, maybe I treated them a little too harshly, you know. But legitimately though, I do think that Hellraiser 4 Bloodline, I think that's a really great idea. I think that movie gets a little too much hate. And it's almost, I think I might actually push it to my number 2. I might like it more than Hellraiser 2. Because I think it introduces a lot of really cool things. The execution is not great, and it gets a bad rap for being Hellraiser in space, but it's not real. Like, the third act takes place in space, but that movie is an anthology. It's got 3 different stories in 3 different time periods, and only one of the stories is in the future, and it's in space. So, like, I feel like it's not really fair to give it the same kind of, like, you know, it's not like Hellraiser in space in the way as Jason X or Leprechaun in space, you know, because the entire movie pretty much takes place in space, and the novelty is that character in space. With Hellraiser Bloodline, only a portion of the movie is in space, and the movie's not about space. It's about how long it takes this bloodline, this family lineage, from building the puzzle box to finally defeating the puzzle box. Like, it takes hundreds of years, it takes lifetimes, you know, to reach that point. So Hellraiser being in space at the end of the movie makes sense to some degree, because it's about how long this has taken to get to the point where we can finally destroy the puzzle box. So I feel like it gets a bad rap, you know what I mean? I feel like people hate it for the wrong reasons. At least that's just my 2 cents. Also, Angelique, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Human form or Cenobite form, I'm just saying. Did you see the trailer of Anaconda with Paul Rudd and Jack Black? Yeah, I did. Is it meant to be a parody horror movie? I mean, it looks like it. Yeah, it looks like it's meant to be a meta like parody. I'm down for it. I don't care. It looks funny to me. I used to love the original Anaconda when I was a kid. Dude, I put that movie, I watched that movie so many times when I was a kid. I would watch like all these giant monsters killing people movies. I loved that shit when I was a kid. Like besides Godzilla, get the obvious out of the way. Godzilla, Jurassic Park. I would also watch like Anaconda, Deep Blue Sea, the Jaws movies, like alligator, anything that I could find that was like a giant monster or a giant animal, like killing and eating people. Like that was my thing. I love that shit. I watched Anaconda so many times when I was a kid. I didn't even realize like the acting was bad. Was it J-Lo and Ice Cube? I didn't care. I just wanted to see a giant snake eat people. Did you watch the new Pluribus episode? Not yet. I want to. But I also, I asked earlier, I'm not sure anybody answered, but do you guys want episodic reviews of Pluribus? I did not plan on doing that on the channel because I don't really love doing episodic reviews or like chapter reviews much anymore. But there's only going to be 9 episodes in total. So it's like, yeah, it won't be that bad to do. And the first video I put out, it did well for my channel. It got like 6,000 views, which is pretty good for my channel. If it's not a big video, that's pretty rare that I get more than like 2,000 or 3,000 views per video. So I was like, okay, maybe people want to see Pluribus reviews. I don't know. Appreciate that you're one of the few genuine film critics. No hyperbole, no buzzwords, trying to be nuanced and only ripping into the truly terrible ones. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Not everybody agrees because a lot of people don't think that I actually enjoyed Shelby Oaks, which I did. I said that I didn't think it was amazing, and I gave criticisms of the parts of it that I didn't like. But because I liked it at all, everyone thought that I was just full of shit. So it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, I try to, I try to structure things being like, okay, here's what I like about it. Here's what I don't like about it. Here's where I'm kind of in the middle with things, and just kind of review it like that. You know what I mean? I don't try to go crazy or, but I see it. I know what you're talking about though, because I think a good example too is like, I didn't love Predator Badlands, but I still thought it was a good movie. But you see a lot of people coming at it and attacking it, being like it's Disney Predator and all this shit and like it's woke and blah, 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 and that kind of shit gets tons of views. And so many people do that. And whether or not there's any valid criticisms there, that's up to interpretation. But, the reasons that I didn't love it is just because I prefer the more like horror side of the Predator franchise. I prefer like Predator 1, Predator 2 kind of stuff. And I felt like the second half of that movie kind of fell off for me. Like after I don't want to spoil it, I guess, but like there's something that the main Predator in Badlands is there to do. And about halfway through the movie, it changes and something else goes on. And I'd rather it stay focused on what he was there to do in the first place. Anyways, all of that aside, you could put a lot of buzzwords on things and call it woke and create, a video and put like some thumbnail on it that's like, oh, chick predator, yada, yada, get tons of views. But like, I gotta imagine that shit's exhausting, man. Like I would never fucking do something like that. I'm just gonna give you my opinion on it, whether I like it or not, or don't like it, and the reasons why, you know what I mean? I also think too, like, when you have channels like that do that and the people that follow it, I think that you're kind of automatically predisposed to view things in a particular way. And so you're naturally going into everything looking for those things to justify your opinion. And I always think it's best to just make up your own mind and make up your own opinion, like not so you can fit in with your established group of people that like to go online and shit on things and call every single new movie terrible. I think a lot of bad movies come out, but like I think a lot of good movies come out too. It just requires a little bit more effort to find them sometimes. But I don't think that everything that comes out now is shit. But there are people with that mindset that every single new movie comes out, you know, they have to make a video bashing it, and it becomes like this never ending perpetual thing where like that's all they're doing, and then every single video is the same exact thing with the same exact talking points and the same exact criticisms. And you wonder, is it more about, you know, are you saying these things because your audience expects you to say these things and wants you to say these things and, you know, needs you to validate their worldview? Or are you actually giving your honest, legitimate opinion about things? You know, I think that's important. I think making up your own mind is important, you know, and I always tell people that too, that watch my videos. It's like, don't take my word for it. Like, you know, if you know that we align in some way on, like, you know, we have a lot of common interests, you know, you could use my review as like a guide of whether or not you may or may not like it. But I always encourage people to go and make their own opinion. Like, don't just take my word for it. Don't, like, my opinion isn't any more valid than your opinion. You know, it's like, make up your own mind on it. As long as you're making up your own mind on it, then it's good. You know, anyways, that's my little soapbox. Martin, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it, man. Please do some more Chainsaw Man reviews. I probably will in the future once I let more chapters build up and kind of binge through them. I don't like doing individual chapter reviews much anymore. You know, I'll do it for some series like Berserk, but you know, that only has a chapter come out like 3 or 4 times a year. The problem with Chainsaw Man, and one of the reasons why I stopped doing chapter reviews, is just because the chapters are so frequent that I like to spend a lot of time making longer, more in-depth, you know, more scripted out videos that take time to make. So the Chainsaw Man video reviews would come chapter by chapter. They would come out so frequently that like my channel would just start to get filled up with Chainsaw Man reviews and almost nothing else. Like in a 5-week period, I would have 5 Chainsaw Man videos and maybe like, you know, a couple of other videos. And it's like, I do like Chainsaw Man a lot. I enjoy it a lot. I think it's a great series, but it's not in my like top 10 favorite manga, and it's not like, I don't want my channel to be the Chainsaw Man channel. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't necessarily want to be like the Chainsaw Man guy. Like, I love the series. I do. I like it a lot and I like talking about it, but it's not like what I wanted the channel to be. You know, it's like there's so many other things that I want to do and create and make, and videos that I want to do that I didn't want it to be. I didn't want my channel to be perceived as like, oh, that's the Chainsaw Man channel. It wasn't meant to be. It's just that the chapters come out so much more frequently than anything else I cover when it comes to manga, that's just the way that it would become. And I was just like, I just don't want to do that. You know, I just don't want my channel to be that specifically. So instead, you know, I'm just going to let chapters build up and probably talk about them or review them, you know, in bulk, like like in like 20 chapter intervals. Also with Chainsaw Man, it's difficult because sometimes like not a lot happens in a chapter, and it's kind of hard to just like sit and talk about it for 10 minutes when like you just don't really get a lot, you know what I mean? So so that's why I just don't do the chapters individually anymore, but I still love the series, and I do still plan to talk about it. Kevin, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I think in this instance, I'll do the push-ups in my currency. That's kind of going back on what I said. But do I want to do 249 push-ups when I could just do 10? I don't know. But thank you for the super chat nonetheless. So Ryan, you mentioned earlier that you would rather have less subs for more views. Any similar opinions you changed through the years? seen some of your old movies, and they're good, nostalgic fun. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, no, I think I still agree with that. You know, I'd rather have more views per video than subscribers because subscriber count, it looks really cool. Like, it looks nice. And I'm happy to have hit like the 100,000 subscriber mark so I could get the plaque, you know, and have a nice like physical representation of all of the years of work that I've put into the channel. It's nice to be able to hold something in my hand and be like, I achieved this, right? But when it comes to actually doing well on YouTube and being successful and trying to make money, subscriber count doesn't matter. All that matters is views, interaction on your video, you know, comments, likes, the almighty algorithm gods that always tend to hate me. That's what matters when it comes to actually being able to make revenue. So it's cool to have like 149,000 subscribers or wherever I'm at right now. But if they don't watch the videos, it doesn't do anything for you. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't give you anything extra. So like, the only way to be successful and to try to make a living and try to make money is to actually get the videos themselves to do well. And so, yeah, I would rather have like, for example, I would rather have like, you know, just straight up 100,000 subscribers and then get a guaranteed, you know, 20,000 views per video. That's a much better deal than having like 150,000 subscribers, but still struggling to get 4,000 views per video. You know what I mean? So yeah. I mean, it looks cool. It looks great. And I am proud of it. But if people don't watch, then it doesn't help me out. You know, like, just subscribing doesn't help. What it does is it manages to put your videos in front of more eyes. But if those eyes aren't clicking, then I stay the same. And like, it doesn't help. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'd rather have 20,000 people that are interested in all the videos than have 150,000 people that are subscribed but don't care, if that makes sense. But I do have to do some push-ups. I'm not going to do 249 unless it's in USD. But I will do. Actually, what is the equivalent? I think that's 10 USD, or it might be 20. What color is orange? I forget. I thought orange was 10. Well, whatever. I'll do 20. I'll do 20 plus the 2 from Martin. So I'll do 22 push-ups. All right. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. That's how we do it. But thank you. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Get myself out of breath. My old years. Got that Doom soundtrack going. Yeah, about One Punch Man season 3. Yeah, I talked about it a little bit earlier in the stream, and I think it's a absolute travesty, man. I haven't watched any of it. I've seen clips. I've seen people talk about it. I don't think that I'm going to watch it. It's just really sad to see how far it's fallen since season 1. The manga's still great though. But as far as the anime goes, yeah, we started up here, and now we're somewhere very, very, very low. I actually think One Punch Man season 3 looks worse than Berserk 2016, man. And that is unfortunate. I have not watched Pluribus episode 3 yet. No, I've not. I'll probably watch it tonight or tomorrow, maybe. Maybe make a video on it. I don't know. I don't know if the people want it or not. But I might be compelled to talk about it. Yeah, Plurb is kind of interesting. Yeah, I really love the first 2 episodes, man. That's why I made a video about it in the first place. I didn't plan on it. I wasn't setting out to make like episode reviews or anything, but episode 2 was so damn good that I just had to talk about it. Let's see. Am I the only one who likes and bought Berserk 2016? Yes, you are the only one. The only person on planet Earth. No, there's other people out there that liked it. And hey, if you do, man, more power to you. I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't. I'm just going to tell you that it did not work for me. Although, Berserk 2016 is the only version of a Berserk anime where it features schnoz. And I feel like that's got to count for something. Have you seen It? Welcome to Derry? Not yet. I plan to. I missed the first couple episodes, and now I am a bit behind. I'm thinking that might be one of those shows where I wait for the whole season to finish and then kind of binge through it. I've heard mixed things. I've heard a lot of people say they love it, but then I've also heard people say it's not that great. So I don't know. I like the movies. I like the first one a lot more, though. I thought It Chapter 2 kind of dropped the ball a little bit. It's still good, but it's not as good as the first, as part 1. Would you be like the Indian guy or Carol? I think I would be more like Carol, to be honest, because I think that I would be terrified, because that kind of shit freaks me out. Like people just, I like the idea of, world domination through happiness. Like nobody has a choice to feel any other emotion. Like everyone is just so positive all the time. I think it would drive me crazy. I also don't think I could live with myself, doing what the Indian guy's doing. Like I think, because I would be thinking like, under normal circumstances, they would not do this. And also, what if this all goes away and people come back to their senses? And you know what I mean? Like the consequences of that. Like, I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. I'd be more like Carol and I'd be freaking out. I would probably use like to my benefit a little bit. Like I'd be like, bring me a nice car or something, at least in the meantime until I try to figure out how to solve the problem. But I wouldn't go as far as, as the Indian guy though. Have you seen or read any of Naruto? No. I'm gonna review it. Review what? Welcome to Derry? Maybe. Watched all of your horror retrospectives throughout the course of October. Wanted to say thanks for all the hours of entertainment. Awesome, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching, man. Thank you for watching. That's what makes it all worthwhile, is that when people actually care. So thank you, man. Symbolism of the grenade in the new episode is pretty good. I have not watched the new episode yet, so I don't know. Don't spoil it. What do you think of The Mist? I think The Mist is good, but I don't think it's great. I think that it's mostly famous because of the ending and how like bleak and traumatizing the ending is, and it's definitely the part of the movie that sticks with you the most. But the rest of the movie is just kind of okay. I love Thomas Jane, and it is based on a Stephen King work, but I never read like the Stephen King version. It's good. It's good. I enjoy it, but it definitely what makes it stand out is the ending. Have the opinion about Saving Private Ryan. I think the battle scenes carry the film. Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of the film is the battle scenes. I mean, I feel like that's a huge chunk of the movie. But the opening scene, yeah, the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan is again what everybody remembers about that movie. There's a lot of great actors in that film too. A lot with only like really small parts. Like I think doesn't Nathan Fillion show up for a second, and then like Vin Diesel is like in there. You would never expect them to be in a movie like that, but they're there. I'm not very big on war films in general, though. I feel like I have a pretty big gap of knowledge when it comes to war movies. I mean, I've seen like the major ones, I guess. Like I've seen Saving Private Ryan, I've seen Full Metal Jacket. I've seen 1917 was good. But like there's probably a bunch of them I haven't seen. The Mist is like Sleepaway Camp. It's remembered because of the ending. Yeah, yeah. Sleepaway Camp is great though. I love that movie. Unashamedly so. I think the whole thing is a riot. But yeah, the ending is the best part. I love how every dude in that movie is dressed with like short shorts and like A cutoff shirt. Can we go back to that? Can we go back to the 80s and just all of us men? Can we start dressing like that? I think it's time to bring it back. Bring back the cutoff shirts, have our midriffs out, have like the short shorts, the torn jeans. I think it's time. I think it's time to go back to that. Enough time has passed. Let's bring it back. Have you seen War Horse, made by Steven Spielberg? Really nice film. I have not seen that one, no. Carl Weathers wearing a crop top in Rocky 3. That's true. That's true, yes. Carl Weathers, he's a badass, man. I really want to go and rewatch all the Rocky movies. It's been a long time. Like, I think it's actually been like 10 years since I sat down and watched all of them. You know what I mean? Like, I think I've seen bits and pieces, or I might have watched Rocky 4 a couple of times, probably way too many times. But it's been so long since I've actually like started with Rocky 1 and watched the whole series. I feel like maybe that's what I should do the rest of this month. Especially as it's getting colder. We're entering the winter arc, training heavier, training harder. It's time to buckle down, maybe do our bulks or whatever it is, we do through the winter. So it might be the best time to get the best possible training motivation you can and rewatch all of the Rocky movies. I'm telling you, man, there's very very few movies that pump me up as much as the Rocky films, particularly Rocky 1 and Rocky 4. Probably because Rocky 4 is nothing but montages, but I'm a sucker for a montage, so bring it on. I'll have an entire movie of Rocky training montages and I'll be satisfied, okay? So, yeah, I think that I need that. Especially because, like, recently, I'm still in the gym and everything, but I haven't been quite as motivated as of late. I'm still there. I'm still doing my routine, but I feel like I need to get back into that special headspace of like, do or die. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm getting older. I don't know what it is, but like, I need to get back. Need to get back into that rage. Need to feel that rage again. Yeah, there is no tomorrow. Exactly. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. He's right. He's right. Which horror character scared you as a kid? I mean, I would say definitely Chucky the most. Freddy Krueger a bit too, and Pennywise, but I'd say Chucky more than anything else. And I talked about it in my Chucky retrospective video, how my parents had this spare room at the end of this hallway. When you're a little kid, this hallway looks so long and so ominous, and they would always leave the door wide open in the spare room. And if you looked in the doorway, you would just see this creepy doll. It wasn't a Chucky doll, but it was like an older doll, like a porcelain doll thing. And it was sitting on a chair that was facing the doorway. So if you'd look in the door, you would see the doll just sitting there staring at you. And I watched Child's Play 2 way too young, and Chucky scared the shit out of me. And I kept thinking that doll in my parents' spare room was going to come to life and kill me. And it scared me every night. I couldn't sleep. I wanted them to close the door. They wouldn't do it. I don't know why. I don't get it. But like that, it scared me so much. Like so much. I kept thinking that doll, one of these days, that it was going to come to life and kill me. And it's all because of Chucky. Rocky 4 was fan service, but in a good way. Oh yeah, absolutely. Dude, I will legitimately, like, not even ironically, but seriously, I will listen to the Rocky 4 soundtrack when I work out sometimes. All right. Not often. I'm usually listening to metal, but sometimes When you're in that mode, when you're in that zone, you just need to throw on the Rocky soundtrack, and it just hits when it hits right. It hits right, man. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a time and a place, and when you're there, it's the best thing you can listen to when you work out. Don't forget that Mickey loves ya. Yeah. God damn it. Hearts on Fire. Yeah, dude. Hearts on Fire. Strong desire. Good stuff. Good stuff. And the Burning Hearts. Yeah, that's the best one. Burning Hearts. Yeah. That's the best, man. When Rocky's when he's driving and he's thinking about Apollo and like the montage of memories is happening. Oh man. Eye of the Tiger. Yeah, I think Eye of the Tiger is from Rocky 3, but I'm pretty sure it's also on the Rocky 4 soundtrack. I could be wrong, but I think it's just so synonymous with Rocky that I'm pretty sure it's also on the Rocky 4 soundtrack. Yeah, Creed is classic to me. Creed was really good. I think Creed is probably the best example, in my opinion, of how to do a legacy sequel. Because a lot of movies tried to do that, you know, Star Wars and like so many others, where they try to like start a younger cast and a new story, but then have the characters from the, you know, the older movies come in as like side characters and mentors and stuff. And they've tried it a lot of times with many different movies, but I think the only movie where it really, really works is Creed. Because that's a legitimately great movie on its own. But if you're a Rocky fan, it just is like a little bit extra, you know? And it doesn't ruin Rocky's character at all. I would say that like Creed 2 and 3, I think are both good, but like not as good, you know? But the first Creed, I think it does what it sets out to do perfectly. It sets up a new character. Michael B. Jordan's great in it. It brings in Rocky. Rocky's more of a side character and a mentor, but it honors Rocky's legacy and where he left off in the last, you know, Rocky Balboa. And it does its job perfectly. It's a new movie, a new series, but piggybacking off of the Rocky franchise. Makes you want to fight Mr. T. Yeah. Who of all of Rocky, like if you had to fight one of Rocky's opponents, like who would you fight? Like if you had to fight Apollo Creed, Mr. T, Drago, Tommy Gunn, or what's the guy he fights in Rocky Balboa? I don't remember his name. But if you had to fight any of Rocky's opponents, Hulk Hogan, who would you fight? Who would you fight if you had to pick one? I think that I would not pick Drago because he would literally kill you and not care. I feel like if you fought Apollo, he would at least fight you honestly. Like he would still destroy me, obviously. But like he's a sportsman. Like he wouldn't, you know, he would fight you to the point where he would beat you in the match, but not beat you to a pulp. You know what I mean? So I think Apollo would probably be the best option. And he would probably help you improve too. Like he would probably be like, this is what you were doing wrong. This is what you could have done better. You know, he's a good trainer also. So like, I don't know. I think Apollo would be the best. But if you had to fight one Rocky opponent, which one would you fight? Your birthday's next Wednesday, Vampire. Well, happy early birthday, man. Hope you have a good one. Hope you get some cake or some cake. You know what I'm saying? Or both. No, happy birthday. Happy early birthday, man. Let's see. Seeing the mask on your Insta story. Gotta say, Cameron Diaz in the movie was a huge crush in my childhood. Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely, man, absolutely. I'm not even into blondes, but Cameron Diaz in the mask is like next level. Yeah, Arrow released a 4K version of The Mask, and I had to have that because it's The Mask. I can't wait to watch it. Actually, that's what I might watch tonight. Hulk Hogan because he's dead. No, you gotta fight the version of him that's in the movie. You can't fight him now. His wife, Adrian. I don't think he ever fought Adrian. I don't think Rocky's a wife beater. It's a little out of character. Mickey. Hey, I want to know how strong Mickey was in his prime, though. You know what I mean? We only ever see old man Mickey. I want to see Mickey fight when he was like 26. Maybe the robots. The robot from Rocky 4, or was it Rocky 5? The robot he gets for Polly. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're pretty close to fighting robots in real life, man. If AI gets any crazier. Mr. T, because Eye of the Tiger gives you that strength. That's true, man. You know what's funny? The first time I ever heard Eye of the Tiger, it was not Rocky. It was actually like a Dragon Ball Z AMV that I watched when I was like 12. And it was Goku. It was like a montage of Goku scenes with Eye of the Tiger. So, yeah, I mean, it was pretty motivational. But even in Rocky or with my like weird childhood memory of Goku, still very motivational. You'd fight Rocky's son. What do you do? Do you fight the child version of him from like Rocky 5, or do you fight what's the actor's name? Oh, Milo Ventimiglia or whatever his name is from Rocky Balboa. Peter Petrelli from Heroes. I always liked him as an actor. I always wish that he did more stuff after Heroes. I don't know whatever happened to him. Milo Venta, whatever his name is. He plays Rocky's son. In the adult version of Rocky's son in Rocky Balboa. Whatever happened to that guy? What was his most recent movie? Only Imagine, Land of Bad, Second Act. I don't know. He was in Creed 2 for a hot minute. Yeah, I don't think he's done like anything. He's on a TV show, 2 episodes, 3 episodes. Yeah, he hasn't really done anything in like the last 10 years. Huh. Well, anyways, yeah, I'd fight him. Do you think Mickey is an homage to Mike Tyson's mentor? I don't think so because the first Rocky came out, what, 77, 78? Was it earlier than that? When the first Rocky came out? 76. Okay, that's close. I think Tyson got popular in the 80s, so Mickey would have already been created as a character. But maybe in like the other movies and stuff draw more inspiration. Would you fight Miyamoto Musashi for $100,000? Probably not, because I think that he kills most people that he fights. So if it was like not a death match, which I don't know how you would do that unless we fought with wooden swords or just hand to hand. I mean, do I get paid the $100,000 whether I win or lose? I mean, I would still try. Like, he would kick my ass, but I would still try. But if I could, you know, Even if he kicked my ass, I still got the $100,000. I mean, I guess, and I'm not gonna die. Then yeah, I mean, I guess I would. But if it's a death match like most of his fights, then no, because I would not win. He did Now You See Me. Was he in that? I don't think I ever saw it. His son in Rocky Balboa, just a hater who didn't appreciate everything Rocky had done for him, especially since Adrian died and he was by himself. Damn. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You know. I always thought it was interesting that in Rocky 5, isn't it Sylvester Stallone's real son playing his son in the movie? What do you think of the decision to kill Adrian in Rocky Balboa? I think it sucks, but I think that, you know, other than Rocky 4, which is basically like uh, insane, like fantasy film, you know, the Rocky movies have been kind of grounded in reality. Like at least the first Rocky, Rocky 2, Rocky Balboa. And Rocky's got a hard life, you know, he's got it rough and he's been through it. And I feel like her dying is something that happens. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it felt real to me. Like it didn't feel like they were just doing it to like pull on the emotional strings of the audience. Like it feels like something that would have naturally happened. And I don't know, it worked for me. I guess that's what I'll say. It worked for me. It does suck. It is a little bit shitty, but I think it makes sense. And I think that if we take Rocky, other than Rocky 4, like they're all very grounded movies and Rocky lives a normal life and he's trying to, you know, figure shit out in the midst of everything. And people die, unfortunately. People that we love die on us. And so I think it worked for that movie, you know? If they had done it in like Rocky 2, like right away, then maybe I wouldn't have liked it as much. But I think in Rocky Balboa, after they did have some time together, I think it makes sense. I think it's all right. Supremo Mega, thank you for the super chat, brother. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for the support. It was ironically easier to get and watch movies pre-streaming. I do resent a streaming service never have everything in their library. I'm kind of with you, man. I'm kind of with you. I mean, it's a little hypocritical because I do have some streaming services. Like I have HBO, I have Amazon Prime, Netflix, but I agree with you. I think when streaming started, it was such a cool thing. It was like, oh, wow, I can just go on to this platform or this app or whatever, and I can just watch movies like straight to my TV or whatever. Like it was so awesome when it first started. But now that we're like, you know, more than a decade in, and every single company has created their own streaming service, and now there's so many different streaming services. And you're right, like nothing is on just one, right? So it's like this show, like Pluribus right now is exclusive to Apple TV. You know, it's like then Stranger Things is exclusive to Netflix, and then I don't like there's ones that are exclusive to HBO. It's like now it's like if you want to watch every show, you got to have every single streaming service, right? And also they can take movies off whenever they want to. Like you pay for access to the service, but if a movie's on there that you like, that doesn't mean that the movie's always going to be on there. And then the other drawback is that if they have an original movie to their streaming service, then there likely will never be physical media of it. You know, like a long time, people wanted physical media of the movie Hush, and then Netflix took Hush off the platform. So it's like, wait, it's a Netflix original movie, meaning you can only watch it on Netflix, and then Netflix decides to take it off their platform. Well, then it's just gone. And now your only option is to pirate, right? Streaming services were so good at first because it was sort of like this disincentive to pirating. It's like, wait, I can just stream 1080p movies to my computer. I only have to pay like $8 a month and I have all these movies I can watch. I mean, I could spare $8 a month, right? And so like it cut down on pirating for a while. But now, since there's so many different streaming services and you don't get access to everything that you want unless you have every single one, it's worse than cable. Because now it's going to add up and be way more expensive than cable ever was. And now streaming services are like an incentive to pirate because people don't want to buy every single fucking streaming service. So yeah, it's a mess, man. I am a physical media supporter, but I understand as somebody that does collect it that it can get expensive and you can't buy every movie. But I try to buy my favorites. I try to buy the ones that I want to add into the collection and stuff. That way I know that I have them and I can watch them whenever I want and I don't have to be dependent on a streaming service. But obviously there's so many movies out there. Like, you know, it's like it take you forever to buy them all. So like inevitably, you know, all the funnels eventually kind of lead to pirating on some level. You know what I mean? So it's just, yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks. Streaming services were so cool like 10 years ago, and now they're just more of a burden than anything else. Oh, I also have to do 5 push-ups. Once I get blood flow to return to my left leg. Wait, how many? How many? Supreme Omega? 5. Okay. There we go. Hard to believe AMVs existed 25 years ago. 31 feel old when I see stuff from the 90s. Oh, man. I mean, the fact that you're even calling it an AMV and that I call it an AMV, that shows our age because people don't call it that anymore. Now it's an edit, you know, or it's a, I don't know. There's like another word for it too. But yeah, we, back in our day, you know, if you're around my age, we called them AMVs and they were shitty quality. They look like potatoes. A lot of it wasn't even edited properly to the music itself. But you know what? We loved them and we appreciated them. I remember getting home from school and just watching AMVs like for like 2 hours after school, man. That's how much of a nerd I was. But hey, man, I had a good time. I'm not complaining. Rocky 4 is a farce, and trying to ground it in legacy for Creed 2 was one of the movie's weak points. Kinda, yeah, because like they did, Creed 2 tried to stay in the more serious approach as the first Creed, and you're dealing with repercussions of Rocky 4, which is like the most wacky, over-the-top Rocky movie, you know? So yeah, I feel you there. I love Rocky 4. Rocky 4 is still my second favorite Rocky movie, though. I love, like, Rocky, the original, is number 1. And Rocky 4 is number 2, but like I love them for completely different reasons. Like the original Rocky is just a great film. It's a good underdog story. Rocky's a great character, very personable, understandable, relatable, all that kind of stuff. You know, it's got one of the best final, fight sequences, whatever. Rocky 4 is just nonstop montages and over the top 80s cheese and Drago is like a super villain. Like it's just so ridiculous, but I love it. I can't get enough of it. So those are my top 2. Oh yeah, it's a shame when a show you love is only on streaming and not physical. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like the streaming exclusive shows, a lot of them don't get physical media releases. Like I really love the show Barry with Bill Hader. I think that's a fantastic show. And I would love to own it. I would love to get like a Blu-ray set or like a 4K set of it or something, but I'm pretty sure there's no physical media and I don't know if there will be. But you guys should watch Barry if you haven't. That's my recommendation. You guys all recommend me stuff to review. I want to recommend you stuff. All right. I recommend the show Barry with Bill Hader. I think it's HBO. I think it's HBO Max. I'm pretty sure. I think. Yeah. That's my recommendation to you. Watch Barry. Yeah, if you already paid for the service or product, it should not ask you to pay for it again. I agree with that when it comes to increasing prices. I feel like if streaming services are going to increase prices, it should not count for the people that already bought it. I think that if you bought, like if you got in early, I think you should get grandfathered in basically. Like I think that if you got, like Netflix increases its price every year. Like how much is Netflix now? Is it past $20 a month now? It used to be like $8, you know? So it's like, I think that if they start, if you got in early, I don't think you should have to pay the higher prices. That's my opinion. That's my stand. If I was president, I'd make that happen. It's like, what about the government? What about the borders? No, you don't understand. The most important pressing issue is the prices of streaming services. We got to fix it. We got to fix it. That'd be my like leading campaign. Just want an exclusively retro anime streaming service. That would be badass. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately there's nothing to really compete with Crunchyroll. And it'd be cool if there was like a anime streaming service that only had anime from like the 70s, 80s and 90s, maybe the early 2000s. Just a full-on retro anime service. That'd be the only place I would be. Like I'd be like fuck Crunchyroll, man. Still know what an AMV is. I don't know. I've just heard like younger people not know what the term is. I've seen that a couple of times now, so I just assume it's like because we called them AMVs back in the day, but now with TikTok and everything, people call them edits. But yeah, they'll always be AMVs for me. Which Predator is the best sequel? Well, lucky for you, I just released a video a few days ago where I ranked every single Predator movie. So if you watch that video, you'll get my full ranking and explanation of where I would put all of the Predator films from my perspective. What is Barry about? It's kind of a hard show to summarize, but basically, Barry is a very mentally unstable hitman that wants to be a better person and falls in love with acting and joins a play group. But it's like a dark comedy slash drama. Like there are moments in it that are really funny, but there's also moments in it that I think are like as heavy as like Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul territory. Like there's some really heavy, like dark moments in that show, but there's also a lot of funny moments. Started watching your stuff after I got into the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and saw your retrospective, then continued to watch several more in a very short time. Love the work, dude. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. That's what makes it all worth it, man, when people care. So thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Have you tried Plex? You can connect to people's private film, TV, anime collections. So I've used Plex before to watch movies that I couldn't find other places, but I haven't done that part of it. Actually, I think the best streaming service is Tubi, because number one, it's free, but number two is Tubi has like all of the best like 80s, 70s horror movies you could possibly imagine. Um, you would be surprised, like absolutely surprised what movies Tubi has. Or if you're looking for a movie, you're like, there's no way this movie is streaming anywhere. Tubi will have it. Like Tubi will just have every possible thing you could imagine. Tubi is the unsung hero of the streaming market. And if there's any service right now, as of right now, if I had to put any streaming service at number one, it is by far Tubi because it's free and it has everything. Standard Netflix without ads is $18 a month. Yeah, dude, it's fucking crazy. It's crazy. And like the only reason I still have it pretty much is like because I pay for a lot of my mom's streaming services because she doesn't know how to do that shit, and we share like we can't with Netflix because again Netflix is a bastard like that and it doesn't let you share passwords, but a lot of them they do. So my mom just uses my streaming services and stuff, and so like some of them I do kind of want to get rid of, but she watches them, so I'm like kind of stuck. But Netflix pisses me off the most because Netflix was the OG. That was the one that started to get this ball rolling, and they've become the worst. Their pricing is the worst. The way that they don't allow you to share passwords anymore, that they only allow you to have one household, yada, yada, yada. And their inventory is not as good now. Like it's not as good as Tubi. It's not as good as HBO. It's not as good as, maybe even Hulu. Like Netflix is just the worst now. But the problem is there are so many shows that are exclusive to Netflix. So like Stranger Things or a lot of anime, is exclusive to Netflix. And it's like, you son of a bitch. They suck, man. Crazy how desensitized some people have become to current prices when a Victorian era child would have a seizure at the prices of stuff right now. Oh man, tell me about it, dude. Like I'm a dude trying to fucking do YouTube for a living, that has not that successful of a channel, living by myself, paying for everything. The prices of everything is crazy. That's why I complain about it. Cause I'm like, it's like, why? It's just like, I can't do anything. Because everything is so expensive, man. It's nuts. But yeah, streaming services, that is one of the worst right now. I think that affects pretty much everybody. And I'm at the point where like I literally miss cable. Like I really do. And cable would be cheaper. To just have cable and get rid of streaming services at this point would be cheaper. What else was I going to say? I was going to say, oh shit, I can't remember. I was going to say something else about streaming services. I can't remember what it was. Nah, I don't know. It'll come to me. Shameless predator plug. Hey, I gotta get people to watch the video somehow, man. Like I was saying, shit's expensive. I gotta get people to watch the video somehow. One of those ways is I have to stop talking about stuff I've talked about in other videos in the live streams so I can get people to watch the actual videos. I don't know if it's going to work, but it's a method I'm trying. Yeah, Tubi is great. Yeah, Tubi's the best. Internet Archive. Well, there's always that, I try to say, like, look, the way I look at it is like I do try to support the things that I like, and I do try to buy like I have a physical media collection. I do try to get the movies that I love. But I mean, there comes a point where you have to go that option. You know what I mean? Either it's not available, or like me right now, I'm like, listen, I'm not getting any more streaming services. Like the ones I have are the ones I have. I don't care what comes out in the future. I'm not getting any more. So if a show comes out, and if that's the only way I can watch it, then that's the only way I can watch it, I don't prefer to go that route, to sail the seven seas, But if I have to, I will. Just watch Christine on Tubi. Dude, I'm telling you, Tubi has everything. If you want to watch 80s, 70s horror movies, Tubi has it. They have everything. Hulu is worse than Netflix when it comes to ads. Oh yeah, it is, dude. Me and my girlfriend, we're trying to watch Angel right now, the spinoff to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's her first time watching it. I love the show already, but I do have the DVDs. But I was hoping maybe like the streaming quality would be better, right? So we tried watching it on Hulu, And yeah, there's ads like every 10 minutes, and there's like 5 ads you have to sit through. And if you want to get the ad-free version, it's like, I think it's like over $20. I'm not sure. I looked it up. I was like, all right, we got to do something about these ads. And I looked it up and I was like, okay, we're not doing anything about the ads because it's just too damn expensive. So we might have to default to just watching my old DVDs. And that also brings me to another question. Why has Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Angel never gotten a Blu-ray release? What the fuck? Come on. Anyways, I don't know who owns it at this point. Let's see. You want to watch a show called Prodigy on Netflix? Only has the 2nd season, and on Amazon have to subscribe to Paramount Plus to buy each episode individually. Oh my god, that's so ridiculous. Yeah, you know, if a streaming service is going to have a show, they should just have every episode. If you can't get every episode, then what's the point? Why bother? You know, if you can only have season 1 and it's a 5-season show, don't even get it, because that's just going to piss me off. Yeah, Hulu and Netflix was the pair back in the day. Yeah, those were like the original. Like Netflix, like let's flash back to like 2011, you know, when this started. Like Netflix was like, that was the only streaming service. Like that was the one to get. Like it was Netflix or nothing, you know, Nerf or nothing. It was Netflix or nothing, man. Then I think Hulu came out after that. I can't quite remember like the order of events, but it was like Netflix was like the original. That was the OG. Then Hulu, then it was like HBO Max was relatively recent. I think that was like what, 2016, 17, so like 10 years ago ish. Then Disney Plus was like right after that, and now it's like there's like 1,000 of them. Apple, Paramount, I don't know, it's too many. Thankfully, piracy is on my side. Exactly, man. Well, that's what it leads to. Hey, listen, like I said, if you have no other option, I don't blame people. Check my phone. I don't like checking my phone during streams because I get distracted. Nice. I will respond momentarily. Buffy and Angel Blu-ray's release got derailed because no one except me bought the Berserk 2016 Blu-ray. That's probably true. Hey, man, well, here's the thing, too, with Berserk 2016 is, like, it'd be interesting to have in the collection, but not for the prices it sells for. I think it's like, what, it was like $60 or something? You know what really pisses me off is Vinland Saga, the anime, because they split season 2 into 2 different Blu-rays. Like, you get the first, like, 12 episodes and the second 12 episodes. Excuse me. You have to buy it separately. You can't buy it all at once. And each set is like $60. Like, what the... Like, $60 for half a season? That is bogus. I will not buy that. I want it because I have Vinland Saga Season 1 in my collection. But I will not pay like $60 for half a season. That is fucking crazy. I remember when Prime TV was barely talked about until popular shows and stuff like Invincible got put on there, and everyone started talking about it. Amazon Prime, that one I kind of give a little bit of a leeway to because you get that automatically with the 2-day shipping, so it kind of benefits you no matter what. Like, whether you're ordering something or you can just like browse their inventory and watch their movies and stuff like that. So Amazon Prime, I give that one a little bit of a pass because you get more than just a streaming service. You know, it also helps you actually ordering things from Amazon. They have some good stuff on there. You know, they have good some good horror movies and stuff on there. Um, but their interface is pretty shitty though, because they mix in movies that you can watch and movies that you have to rent and buy, and it's all like collaged together. Uh, did you watch Mark Raymer's animation of Guts versus Rosine? Yes. Well, I mean the one from like years ago. Yes. If he made a new one, no. But yeah, from years ago, yeah. Rental place in your city that has very rare movies, some of which only a few copies in the world on VHS have like $500 to $1,000 bind on the rental. Oh shit, $500 to $1,000 on the rental? What? Some supremely rare films though. Still, I mean, even if they're rare, like that's wild. That's wild. I could see to own maybe, but to rent, that's I don't know. That's whack. I can't think of any movie that's so rare and precious that I would be like willing willing to dish out that much. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm trying to think of like the most I would spend on an actual physical media thing. I don't know. I can't think of one because I have like all my favorite movies. Like I spent there's a big like Evil Dead collection that gives you like Evil Dead 1 and 2 on 4K and the Ash versus Evil Dead series. It's like this big box set thing. It doesn't have Army of Darkness because they couldn't get the rights to it or whatever, but I bought that. And that was like, I don't think it was quite $100, but it was up there. And that's like probably one of the most I've ever spent on like a physical media item. But I was like, Evil Dead, it's like my favorite horror movie. It's got them all on 4K. It's a big box set. You know, it's a really cool edition, whatever. You know, that was like an exception to the rule. And like, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I would spend. Oh, actually there is one. I'm so stupid for just thinking about it. It is literally, I have it. It's literally the Godzilla Criterion collection of the Showa era. I bought it brand new when they released it and it was like $200. This thing. This big motherfucker right here. This is I think the most I've ever spent on physical media. This was like $200 when it came out, and it is the whole entire Showa era of Godzilla. It's 15 movies on Blu-ray from Criterion. I don't have the discs in here because the disc can't stay in when you display it upright. They fall out. So the discs would be in here. But yeah, it gives you like all this shit, all this information on all the movies. And it was the first time that you could actually buy the Showa era on Blu-ray in America. It was the only way to get them. So you either got this collection or you don't have the movie. Like you can't buy them individually. So some of them you could, but to get the entire collection in all one big fell swoop, this was the only way to do it. So I did it because I love Godzilla. And I was like, if I don't get this now, I don't want it to sell out. You know, I think you can get it now. Like they always print copies of it. I don't think it ever sold out. But at the time, I didn't know if it would or not, you know? So I was like, I don't want to take the risk of it selling out. I was like, I have to try to get this. And a lot of these movies, when I bought this set, I actually have a video. I have an unboxing of this from years ago. I think it's still on the channel. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. When I got this, a lot of these Godzilla movies I had not seen for years because they only existed on VHS. So a lot of them didn't even make it to DVD. And then Criterion picked up the Showa era and released it all on this set, which is awesome. So yeah, this is definitely the most amount of money I ever spent on physical media is this right here, for sure. And I always kept waiting for them to release like the Heisei era. You know, I don't know, because they have Biollante, but I don't know if they got the other movies. I would love another collection, like a part 2 where they release the Heisei era of movies. But as of right now, there's just this. And then the question becomes, if they ever re-release that on 4K, would I rebuy it? And to answer that question, I would just have to say I'd have to consider how broke I was at the time they released it. Because being the Godzilla fan I am, I don't know if I could resist, but I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, guys, I am probably going to wrap up the stream soonish. We'll go for like another 10 or so minutes. Then I'm going to go make some dinner. What is the rarest item you have in your physical media collection? That is also something I've thought about, but I don't know if I have an answer. I don't know what the rarest item I have is. I don't think anything I have is really like particularly rare. Except maybe I would say I do have the 90s Rurouni Kenshin anime series on DVD, and they've never released it on Blu-ray. I don't know if they ever will now after, you know, all that shit. I don't know if they'll ever re-release it, but it's definitely been out of print for like 25 years. And I have Rurouni Kenshin on DVD. So maybe that's one, because I'm pretty sure you can't get the original Rurouni Kenshin anymore on physical media, at least over here. Maybe in other countries you can. But in the US, they only ever released it on DVD, and it's been out of print for decades. So I do have that. I don't know if exactly how rare it is, but I know that you can't get it anymore unless you spend a shit ton of money. Wasn't the Yu Hakusho collection expensive? It kind of was. I can't remember how much it was, but I don't think it was more than like, I think it was like 60 or 70 bucks, which is expensive, but for the entire series, you know, I felt like that was reasonable. And you got the OVAs on there that were unreleased before, so it gives you a little bit extra. Saw you on Letterboxd that you've seen Fallen Angels. How did you find it? I think it's the coolest film ever. It is a great film. Actually, Too Vivid, that's in the chat sometimes and sends in super chats. He actually introduced me to that movie. I thought it was great. I really, really loved it. I loved the style to it, the dreamlike quality that it had. I am interested to check out other films by that director. I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. I really loved the story with the guy and his father. And their back and forth and how they were living together and, you know, bickering with each other, but having this like really great love and respect for each other at the same time. It was I'm a sucker for father-son stories. So that one really, really hit me. I've been trying to get your hands on the Evil Dead Groovy collection for years. It's impossible to find. Okay, so maybe that's considered a little bit rare now too, because that's the one I was talking about earlier that I have for Evil Dead. So I do have that one. Watched your Godzilla set review not that long ago. Awesome, man. Yeah. That was in the early days, not the earliest days, but pretty early days of my YouTube channel. Evangelion Platinum Collection was $100. What is the Platinum Collect? Because I've seen just the series, which I don't have. I don't own it, but I've seen the series for like $40. What does the Platinum give you? Does it give you like all the movies and stuff too? I just want to say it's good to have you back on streams, Ryan. Oh, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. I personally, I don't think I'm very entertaining, but I'm glad for anybody that does. Bought the Dragon Ball Z Dragon boxes from eBay. I had to pay over $1,000 to get it. Ooh, that is one of those elusive things that I would love to have. So the Dragon boxes are, they give you like all of the original Japanese, the right aspect ratio, all of the extra bits and like the previews and stuff. Like it gives you pretty much everything. They're hard to find. Yeah, I get it though. I definitely understand the incentive to get those. I still have the orange bricks as far as Dragon Ball Z goes, and I don't hate them as much as a lot of people hate them, but I definitely recognize that yeah, they're cropped. Yeah, some of the digital fixes don't work that well. Um, but it's all I got. It's all I got. But at least I can listen to the Bruce Falconer score. You know what I mean? So that's fine. I'll keep it for that. Appreciate the Friday streams, dude. Always good to catch up, hear what's going on with you. Thanks for hanging with us. Oh, no problem, man. Thank you guys, man. Thank you guys for supporting and still being here, man. I do a lot of crazy random shit on the channel, so I appreciate when people stick with me. What's your favorite OVA? You mean just like, do you mean just OVA in general? Or were you talking to like specifically Yu Hakusho that I was talking about? With Yu Hakusho, I do like the backstory of how Kurama and Hiei met each other. I think that's really good. In general, I mean, I got to go with the Rurouni Kenshin Samurai X Trust and Betrayal, the backstory, Batosai the Manslayer story of Kenshin, where they adapt a portion of the Jinchu arc, not all of it, but a portion of it. That's definitely my favorite. Definitely my favorite by far. Yeah. Critters review. I like the first Critters, man. I don't really know the sequels. I don't know how crazy they get. I know there's only 4 of them, so it wouldn't be that bad. If there's only 4 movies, even if they suck, it's not that bad. It's not like Hellraiser with 11 movies. Critters having 4, I might be able to do that. What if I combined it? What if I did like a Critters, Ghoulies, Hobgoblin like collaboration review? Do you like the Ghoulies? I don't even know if I like the Ghoulies. I don't even know if I've seen the Ghoulies, to be honest. Other than just like clips and remembering all the box art of the VHS tapes. Yeah, Trust and Betrayal 5 stars. Yeah, I think so. It's hard to recommend though. I think because like in a way, Samurai X Trust and Betrayal can be watched completely on its own, and like you don't because it's the backstory of Kenshin. So like you can watch it and not be spoiled, right? But in the same way, you are kind of spoiled because if you ever did want to read Rurouni Kenshin or watch the anime, it starts out and Kenshin's past is a mystery, and you're not really supposed to know what he did as Batosai and what caused him to go from being a Hitokiri to a wanderer, So it's like I want people to watch Samurai X Trust and Betrayal because it's so good, but then it's also like, well, how far into Kenshin do you want to go? Because if you really want to get into it, you probably should just start, with the 90s anime or the manga. But like, if you're only going to watch one thing for Rurouni Kenshin, I mean, Samurai X Trust and Betrayal, because I think that's the best as far as anime, as far as like the anime adaptations, because I think the manga is the best. But as far as the anime adaptations, Trust and Betrayal is just a beautiful piece of work. Like it's a amazing anime just on its own. I think it can stand on its own, and it's just It's just great. It's just really good. Does your girl watch anime? She has watched anime. She's not like big into it, but there's ones that she really likes. Like she's actually a big fan of Trigun, like the original, like the '90s Trigun. She loves Vash, and she has seen like Yu Yu Hakusho and a couple of others, but she's not like an anime person like per se. Like that's not like her chosen media, but there are some anime that she's watched that she really likes, like Trigun. Have you seen Black Lagoon yet? I have not. No. I want to. It's on my list. Asked if you like favorite slice of life anime. You said no, yet you like Golden Boy. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. If you count, yeah, if Golden Boy counts, then yeah, that would be my favorite slice of life anime. Then. The wait for Berserk is long, yes. When we say a few chapters ago, some of those chapters were from 2 years ago. This is the truth, man. This is the truth. It's the true struggle. I think it's the real world equivalent of experiencing the pain and suffering that Guts has to go to. Like to be a true Berserk fan means to struggle, and to make sure that you truly struggle, we're only going to give you 2-3 chapters a year. So that you can understand pain on some level. That no matter how good your life may be, you're going to understand pain on some level. That way you can understand the story. And that pain is the wait. Anyways, on that note, I think I'm going to wrap it up for the night, you guys. I appreciate you guys being here with me, hanging out tonight. Good stream, good questions. I want to say special shout out to everyone that helped support tonight, sending a super chat. MD Negative, Brandon, thank you. The Villain, Too Vivid, thank you. One username that I can't pronounce, I apologize, but thank you. Martin, Kevin, Supreme Omega, you guys are the MVP, man. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for being here, hanging out, and may or may not get a Pluribus episode 3 review. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And I got some stuff I need to catch up on, and I have other projects lined up. And it's actually getting close to December, so we're going to do what we did last year, and every week is going to be a different Christmas horror movie review. So look out for that. So thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you guys. Like and comment. Actually, don't worry about this. Don't worry about like and comment the stream. Go to the videos, watch the videos, like and comment those, particularly the Hellraiser video and stuff of that nature. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. Take care, everyone. Have a good night. Be safe. Drink some water. I'll talk to you